Hello, friends, and welcome to day 2 of the Natter X Community Beta Clash. My name is Jeff, here with Billy to guide you through our winners bracket here for day number 2. We get our first tournament here for the community on the beta, and I couldn't be more excited to be here.
Same. I am extremely excited to see Push coming out here, one of our new map types. We'll see what the teams are able to do here, but super excited to be here, being a part of this tournament.
Yep, and thanks to Vite Ramen, you can donate directly to our prize pool that is currently sitting at 3,000 and growing. Use the link in chat. 100% of proceeds go directly to the prize pool. Not only that, but you could find yourself some ramen options there, so you can order some delicious protein-packed ramen while contributing to this wonderful tournament. It's a win-win situation, Billy.
It is, and I really got to try the Girl DM flavor that's out. Plus, there's some cool stickers also that are available on the Vite Ramen website. I have had a chance to try a lot of their flavors. The tonkatsu garlic is actually really, really good. But hunger aside, we got a clash of two teams here. Sue's Many Crew coming out here, and CMS are going to be fighting each other. And there's a lot of trade over between these two teams. There's a lot of members of SMCNA. There's a lot of members of SMCEU, and there's some ex-Owl players from the Spitfire as well.
Yeah, you might notice some similarities here in the names. CMS is SMC backwards. Also, the logos are very similar. Rosters, well, they reflect that as well as we take a look at some of our starters today. Quick note, it is Aspen's birthday, so happy birthday to her, but she's going to spend this day celebrating. So we will not see Aspen on the battlefield, which I think is the strongest support there for CMS. We'll see how that affects them going into this. Chime and Miracle, of course, coming from SMCNA and taking on some of their former colleagues.
Yeah, and I think that the big look that we're going to be looking at here as far as CMS is going to be the collegiate player coming out of Bay State, Mikan. Had a chance to look at them earlier yesterday. Looked pretty good in combination with Aspen. So we'll see if it's going to be Cal or Maximus coming into the support line. But Kuffa, the Australian journeyman, is going to be leading up the tank line for them. And I'm definitely interested to see them. I got to watch them a lot in Australian contenders. One of my favorite contender scenes to watch just because it's so bonkers. But Tools. We know Tools from SMC Contenders team in Europe and had a very good run. Actually took second back in October. So, Tools definitely going to be looking to see the Sigma come out. The Zarya is also very good. So it just depends on what these teams are going to run. If we're going to see an EU variant of a little bit of Rush, or if we're going to see, more of a Brawl type coming out with a Reinhardt or a Sigma in the leading role.
Yeah, keeping our eye on Hybrid as well from Choose Money Crew, of course. Played with the London Spitfire there for a bit, as did Kellex on this SMC crew, too, those Overwatch League players that you're referencing. So we got some good head-to-head matchups here. Tools to Kuffa, Hybrid to Chime. This is about to be a good one. I'm really excited we get to see this one on stream. This feels personal. This feels like there's more at stake than just this winner's bracket, fourth round. This one feels a lot more like a rivalry.
No, I mean, it's obviously lots of friends between these two. And I'm wondering, are we going to see the Holy Pig
friendly rivalry?
A friendly rivalry, but are we going to see the Holy Pig int continuously, or have they learned their lessons from ladder play and see if they're actually going to take it seriously? Because we know that the Holy Pig usually shows up in chat. It's like trolling people left and right. We see the gameplay trolling left and right. We'll see if he's learned his lesson or not.
Certainly a character. And hey, either way, we're going to win because it's always fun to watch. Well, that's enough about our who. Let's talk about our where. This is going to be a true best of 3. No ties on the cards for us as we have Control, Push, and Escort fixed map here for map number 1 as we're going to Lijiang Tower.
Well, I mean, we've seen, different looks coming out from a lot of different teams here, not only in Owl, but also here in a little bit of T2. I've been watching a little bit of community streams going on as well. And Genji and Soldier seem to be in a very good spot right now, seem to be the meta. And if you're rocking in with a Winston or a Doomfist in the tank line, the Ana has to be the choice that you go to. Nano Visor right now is one of the most broken combos in the game right now, Jeff. So the supports are definitely going to have their eyes out, and especially if you can burst down a Winston bubble fast, that's going to get a lot of value.
Yeah, and particularly with Diva not really being in the mix, we've seen a little peppering of Diva on the pro level, but for the most part, not a whole lot of Diva being played, which means there's not much to block that nano tac visor that you're talking about. And I mean, the Winston bubble, it has been getting a lot more value. There's not a whole lot of shield break currently in the meta, and so that does put Winston at the forefront. Of course, the Doomfist has been fairly prevalent as well. Could be a popular pick here in Lijiang. But it's control. One thing that hasn't changed is there do seem to still be micro metas in the sub maps of our control maps, and I think Lijiang Tower is an excellent example of that.
Absolutely. I mean, you've definitely got more of a brawly look in Control Center. I still think that you need to be running the Winston with a Genji or an Echo on Night Market, and that's where we're going to start out at. We're going to start out on Night Market. So I'm looking for, if they're going to go aerial, it's going to be the Echo. Pharah right now not in a good place. Mercy not in a good place here in our new game. So we'll see what comes out, and there we go. We've got the Winston and the Soldier and the Genji coming out. Lots of speed coming out for them as well. Big difference on CMS is that they're going to rock the Tracer first. So definitely looking for the back line. And we'll see what Ruby and Cronus can do to keep themselves up.
Yeah, the Tracer ends up being a little safer. Not as easy to pounce on, not as easy to lock down. So despite, taking a little bit of a damage nerf coming into Overwatch 2, the Tracer is still very viable as the hero has always been. Hybrid on this Soldier 76 has got a little bit more damage output. Definitely has some mobility, but a little bit more vulnerable. Not by much. You do have that heal station. But right now, it's CMS who are using these highly mobile characters, putting a lot of pressure down. SMC kind of backed themselves into a corner, but are so far looking no worse for wear. Kuffa under a lot of pressure. And Sophia taking a nap, both of which very low. Somehow Sophia able to get out of there alive. It turns around and gets the kill onto Holy Pig. CMS turning what was looking like a dire situation for a moment into an advantage.
Well, I mean, it's trades back and forth right now. I think the Tools right now is actually holding court in the corner. There's going to be the coin taken by CMS, though. So, the junior squad here, if you want to call them, has taken first point. But look at the ultimates coming up on Shoes Money Crew. There's going to be a chance for them to get in and attack right away.
Yeah, coming up on that nano visor we were speaking about. Oh, Drachi was in, picks up too. Holy tried to bring it back, looking for some damage there on the Cal, but no, I was on the Ruby, excuse me, but Ruby gets the better end of that deal. CMS still with an advantage, though. Kuffa's able to trade back, and they're continuing to build percentage on this point.
Well, Pulse Bomb ready to go into the next fight, so Ruby and Cronus got to be very careful. You might go with the nano tac visor here, or you might have to keep tools up.
Nano going on to Hybrid, not quite to the attack visor. Kuffa, the recipient for CMS, who's up high and just burning down these supports. Somehow Cronus gets out of their Primal Rage, chasing them all the way back. It was Holy Pig coming in with the deflect to try to hold them off. Cronus moving down, escort Hybrid onto the point, able to pick up one. Mikon is going to fall. Some presence on the objective here, but a nice stick is going to finish off Tools and remove SMC from this point. Reinforcements starting to show up as Hybrid's going to drop this tac visor. Kuffa just instantly melted. That health bar evaporated.
Yeah, and I mean, you got the value out of it, but here's an immediate recontest coming in from Cal. So Cal showing what he can do, but Hybrid, not to be outdone, secures the point. Now the percentage will be going up. Sound barrier for both teams into this next fight.
Yeah, watch out for Grandma. Grandma will come in and slap you around with that wooden spoon real quick, especially in Cal's hands.
La chancla.
Exactly. SM2, they're getting back capped, though? All right. They figure it out. Cronus is able to run back and get them something done. Both Nano Blades ready to go. Mikan's going to go ahead and drop the sound barrier in response to Holy Pig's blade. Holy Pig's able to whittle through that. Ruby eventually chopped down, but it's a trade on Honest, and Hybrid falls, meaning CMS with a +1 moving on to this point. Jirachi with a nice dash, able to take down the other support. Tools and Holy Pig answer right back, though, and this fight's going down to the wire. Holy Pig with no health, almost got out of there. Jirachi catches them on the escape, and CMS hang on.
And they get to hold on to the blade as well. Here it comes out, looking for the supports. That is a huge engagement.
Yeah, nice start. 85%. Jirachi's already taken Ruby out of the fight. Shoes Money Crew scrambling to regroup and running out of time.
I mean, and that's going to be into the Nano fight as well. I mean, because now with Ruby off the field, Cal's going to have the Nano engage to hold the point.
Kuffa's dropped the Primal. Cal still tips away. Kuffa's got to sleep off the Primal, though. Beautiful job from Ruby to kind of devalue that. No more Genjis here on the battlefield as Sophia moves in. Try to see if they can solidify this first sub-map for CMS. Putting a lot of pressure down on Tools. Does have the Primal range. They can pop it in time. Feeling the pressure. They're going to go ahead and unleash the Angry Fist. Combined with Hybrid, they're able to take Sophia out of the fight. So he's got to get on this point. They do touch. Keep the overtime going. CMS returns. Ruby's down, but Tools is able to respond. Finds Cal as well as Cronus, and that should be enough. I say that Hybrid and Tools. They're able to pull it through, and Shoes Money Crew get this thing back.
And what a biotic build there coming out of Hybrid, keeping Tools up in the interim. 85 health and a dream, and they actually lived through that. So now the Nano engage is going to be on the opposite side. SMC looking for that Nano engage. Probably needs to go onto the visor this time.
Yeah, the Shoes Money Crew in a good position to win here as the Nano does come out into Holy Pig. Who's going to just move up and easily take Cal out of the fight, able to avoid that sleep dart. Dashing down, assists with that kill onto Kuffa, and a textbook play from SMC.
Well, now it depends on how fast Ruby can build up to this next Nano, because they're going to be just about equal with the damage coming in from CNS. So I'm looking at that. I'm also looking at the TAC visor from Hybrid. Going to be able to section off the point.
We're approaching final fight. If this one goes fast and CMS lose, they might be able to get a second one and, of course, a win here, and they will take this first sub-map. Hybrid retreating back, feels the pressure. Tools, nice kite as Jirachi gets baited in, taken down. SMC are controlling this far side. The blade is unleashed way deep as Holy Pig. The purple doesn't matter. Holy Pig doesn't care about your anti-nade. We'll still slice through your back line. And SMC able to bring this map all the way back. And the overtime goes away. Oh, just in the nick of time. Kuffa shows up onto the point, but Holy Pig is there. Soundbarrier coming in from CMS. A last-ditch effort. If Kuffa could get that Primal online, they might be able to keep this going, but Kuffa's under a lot of pressure. It's just bouncing around that 100 health mark. Jirachi falls, and a lot of the damage is gone. Tools is able to pop their Primal range first, and Kuffa does fall. Not able to get their ultimate out, and SMC will take our first sub-map.
That is fantastic work out of them, and you got to throw it in there for Holy Pig. Getting a lot of work. Holy Pig, holy cow! Work with the katana, the dash resets as well. Definitely a turning point in this first sub-map. Now, as we head into Control Center, we're going to be looking for, you know, a little bit more brawliness coming out of these players, and we see Tools going over to the Reinhardt. So, definitely a different look, bringing out maybe the Sojourn. I'm not so sure about that one, but we'll see. They did just get a buff on the Sojourn, so we'll see if the rate of fire buff will actually be to the benefit of the Sojourn. But look at this. We're looking at the Edgelord themselves coming in, definitely looking to burn down some tanks. See if that teleport will actually be good.
Teleport's getting up first. Are we? Oh my, okay. Hybrid pulling out the Sojourn. This is not something I was really anticipating seeing here today, but they did get a little bit of a buff here recently. Got a rate of fire increase. Unfortunately for SMC, Holy Pig's the first to fall. The CMS are controlling a lot of space here early, forcing Shoes Money Crew all the way back to the doors. Sophia tried to raid back out of there. And Shoes Money Crew getting a little bit of that space back. Oh, the railgun shot just narrowly misses Mikan. And it looks like CMS, they've got first control and got a lot of space to work with.
Well, I mean, Holy Pig just kind of got a little bit overzealous going into that point, and now, you know, you're looking at the jump pack engages coming in from Kuffa and getting a lot of value into boot.
Well, Holy Pig returns with a vengeance to find two opening picks here in this second engagement, and it's a +1 to SMC right now. Choose Money Crew, going to grab this point. Nice headshot coming out of Hybrid.
Good lord. Hybrid,
so
hello. The railgun is just satisfying to see it, especially when it dinks ahead like that. And you're looking at, you know, the ultimates coming out for Shoes Money Crew. Their support ultimates are actually going to be online before CMS.
Ant Matrix will be the first of those. Tools has a shatter as well to boot. Right now, just currently hammering down Kuffa as Hybrid's able to pick up a kill with the Disruptor shot. That Ant Matrix does come out. Not really finding a whole lot of targets with the fact that Jirachi is still in there, able to do some work, 99% to Blade. Tools, the Shatter could shut it down. Bubbles up immediately, doesn't want to use it. Oh, pressure from Sophia. Now combined with Kuffa, and Tools is out of the fight. Never gets a chance to use the Earth Shatter. As CMS absolutely surrounded the Reinhardt, give them no opportunity to bring this back, and are now taking the fight all the way to the doors.
That's got to be a communication error because Tools was in there all by himself, and there was nowhere for him to go. So now we're going to see, what kind of push comes out from this Blizzard engage.
Yeah, the Blizzard was instrumental in finding the two opening picks, trying to bring her back. Jirachi Kavuls out the Katana, able to pick up 2 immediately, both of those being supports, and now Mikan's going to throw the sound barrier on top. Shatter finally does come down, but it only finds 1. Mikan will get disposed of, but there's still a 3-2 advantage. Make that a 3-1, and it's quickly going to be a 3-0. Reinforcements, though, going to be able to stall this out a little bit. Nope, never mind. Cronus is opting to back out.
Yep, smart call to keep the speed engage out, and now Hybrid swapping over to the Reaper for themselves. Definitely behind in that ultimate category. So, Death Blossom, let's see how sneaky Sophia can be with this.
Right now, just playing right at Kuffa's hip. There it is. Comes out right in the middle. Immortality field immediately gone. That's going to whittle down a lot of the forces. The Death Blossom only got 1 itself, but it took out resources, and most importantly, it got those health bars low where Cal's just able to finish everybody off.
Cal with the 3-piece there on the back of the Death Blossom. You got to love that as a Moira player. So, Coalescence gained throughout that. So, that's going to be able to top off the team nicely and stop any kind of an engage coming in from the Mei and the Reinhardt.
You hear the ping on the outside as Jirachi was recognized, but Kuffa flies first blood. Coalesces at their back. Primal Rage used, and CMS just need to win one more fight to take this sub-map and send us on over to round 3. Hybrid bringing it back as Sophia's out of the fight. Cal trying to chase down Kuffa, make sure to just stick with that Winston, but unfortunately everybody else is falling around them. Now Kuffa's frozen stiff. That's a monkey popsicle that has just been chewed to bits, spit out, and SMC flipped the point.
Oh, Dragon Blade will be able to be used getting on the point for CMS coming into this next fight. It's going to be dry. So, you've got the Ant Matrix to fight into that. Tools just decided Vilos was absolutely the answer there, but they also lose their Baptiste, and now this is the time for them to go.
Oh, that looks like something out of a movie. Toll's just the Mack truck that comes through off the side and just smashes it. Yes. Hey, that move bought SMC a lot of time, and it could potentially bring us to one fight territory. Shatter comes down, that finds Cal in the back. The book, everything is gone. Trying to bring it back. Jirachi with the blade finds Holy Pig, bringing out the Death Blossom. Hybrid still not able to take it down. The deflect is good, but once the deflect is gone, the Hellfire shotguns make short work of the Cyber Ninja. In that, though, CMS is able to flip this objective. Shoes Money Crew are forced to come back as a 3 to try to put pressure on this point. True final fight, and both teams are missing reinforcements.
Yeah, I'm looking for Crotus to see if they're going to be able to get this sound barrier off. That will absolutely turn this fight on its head.
Yep, sound barrier coming in now. Sophia has to go up and grab the Mega. Shoes Money Crew are looking to try to punish Kuffa. Kuffa goes low, but it's the blessings from the back line. Everybody distracted by the Winston. And Cal comes through with another 3-piece. The Blizzard is late, and CMS are going to send us to the Gardens.
We're going to Gardens, and man, the supports were huge there. I thought that sound barrier was going to keep the team up, but Cal says, nay, I will let loose with my coalescence, and I will burn you down where you stand. So, Gardens will decide where we're going now, and who's going to take this first sub-map and go up onto match point. So, SMC...
Showing us some true 5-man. All right.
Yes.
All right.
I'm loving what I'm seeing there. I also love the fact that we're seeing Jirachi go onto this Echo. You're going to have the duplicate here. You're going to have 2 Furious Georges on the board. So lots of mobility for CMS Shoes Money Crew. Are going to have to watch themselves.
Yeah, and we saw a couple of Overwatch League teams use the Echo to great effect. I'm thinking Houston is one that stands out with Pelican on that. Jirachi taking a note and bringing the last hero of Overwatch 1 to bear. Already putting some work in, but Shoes Money Crew, look at, they've claimed the center pillar, which gives them all the space to work with. It forces Kuffa to try to go through the dojo, able to pick up one there. Hybrid has been marked, which has drawn the focus of the entirety of CMS, caught it in dojo, and well taught a lesson. And it is CMS who are the masters right now. They're not going to allow the back cap. They're going to move in. Should be able to clean up this fight. That kill on the Cronus seems to be the nail in the coffin.
Yep, and the focusing beam gets it done as well. So, I mean, lots of ultimate gain for both sides, but we'll see what they're able to do. Hybrid now swapping over to the Soldier 76. So, looking for a little bit more mid and long range poke to deal with the dive coming in from CMS.
Yeah, and the Reaper was just useless against the Echo as well. Jirachi's just never going to give you that range. So this is gives you more options to try to deal with Jirachi in the sky, who is quite close to this duplicate, which is particularly strong on a Winston. It did get nerfed in Overwatch 2 where you only get 300 max health. Does not affect Primal Rage. You can still get the full amount of health. Look at this. Doesn't even need it. Twirls gets just melted. Jirachi picking up a pair.
That was disgusting, and what a beautiful use of the flight there, just to angle off and take the jump and dive in out of nowhere. So that's beautiful work coming from them, 50% and counting.
Choose Manicure rotating around towards Lightroom. They do have this Coalescence to work with, so down this long hallway, that Coalescence can find a lot of value. Ruby close to that one. A lot of ults on the other side, and it's going to be Jirachi indeed, combined with a Sound Barrier. The duplicate Winston going in with extra shield to boost, and it's going to be a battle in a small room, but it's Kaffa who feels the brunt of it. CMS thought they found some juicy morsels in there. It was nothing but death. Choose a Money Crew with a beautiful bait and switch, and now they're switching this point.
They are swapping the point, but there's still a contest going on, and Cal is no longer here for the world, and there's the recall back. Man, Kaffa. Sorry, buddy. That was just dirty done on you now. But still, there's getting these last-minute contests, Jeff, and I mean, they've built it up to 88%. So, you're looking at one fight here for CMS to hold the point. Otherwise, they're going to have to start investing a lot of ultimates. Right now, I mean, you got to look. I mean, it's the Cal versus Ruby show right now, and Coalescence was used in that last fight.
Yeah, and Ruby's almost caught back up to another one, as far as compared with Cal. Attack fires are coming out from a Hybrid in the small white room, and Meekin goes down. Primal Rage from Kaffa is going to find Holy Pig. Alfred can't quite make it to the Mega. Duel's trying to answer back and do the same, but it's CMS who are finding the picks. Sophia's going to land the Pulse. Ooh, but Jirachi's in trouble. This is going to be a Winston v. Winston on point. The advantage with Meekin there to help out Kaffa, and Tools can't stick around. Contest is still there, and CMS haven't quite flipped it over despite having the numbers at this point. Sophia has returned, takes some damage. Got to use that recall early. Tools has reinforcements now, and Shu's Money Crew will not be dislodged so easily.
This is a chaotic fight, and I mean, you're looking at Tools holding the point. Hybrid taking Jirachi out of the sky. That's a huge pick. No more gain towards that, towards the duplicate, and now without a Winston on the field, you're definitely looking at holding it here. You're going to have the Holy Pig duplicate coming up very shortly, so we'll see if they go ahead and do the Winston duplicate here.
Yeah, I think it's got to be. Although an Ana dupe has seen some value, I love the creativity that duplicate has seen here in Overwatch 2. Hybrid picks up first blood here in this very important fight, and Holy Pig follows up with another one. Ruby does throw in the Coalescence to boot, and CMS are just absolutely dismantled before they can even get close to this objective.
Well, they're close, and I mean, they've got enough to hold here, so Shu's Money Crew is actually going to hold here, crossing 93%. You've still got Sound Barrier and Duplicate online. This is going to be a very frenetic last fight.
Yes, it did. Sound Barrier advantage. CMS used theirs already. Cronus throws it down immediately, and Kaffa has to pop the Primal Rage, being low on health. Now it's Cal who's the focus of the attention and gets melted. It's actually going to be a Tracer duplicate coming out of Holy Pig. Just going to opt into that Tracer duel. So if he is low, drops the Pulse Bomb. That misses the mark. Duplicate from Jirachi at the last possible second. Trying to hang on here for CMS, but there's just too much damage. And Shu's Money Crew take first map halfway to winning it here in our winner's bracket round 4.
That was a fantastic map all around from both squads, but Shu's Money Crew has it in the end. So I think close quarter combat here, if you're thinking about what we saw there on Gardens, they allowed the fight to come to them. And that's where they got the most value out of their ultimates. They really did marshal when to use it and how to use it. And I think that was the big difference between these two. Man, Kaffa, I'm telling you what, Kuffa's showing up big today with the primals, but Tools not to be outdone. You know, we know Tools to be more of an off-take player from Overwatch 1. Definitely showing a little bit of the Hanbin side of him today as getting the Winston juggles down just nicely, and I love to see it. Love to see the off-takes coming up and stepping up big.
I mean, those roles are just kind of going out the window. The lines have blurred, Billy, in the tank department, and I thought for sure that you'd have specialties, and I think you do still to a point. But I mean, you kind of hit the nail on the head. I mean, Hanbin earlier today pulling out the Winston, and we're seeing Tools follow in suit and perform exceptionally on the main tanks today. Yeah, Tools versus Kuffa. This has been the head-to-head to watch of all the players we listed at the top of the broadcast. I think that's been where the biggest impact has come from.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that I'm really looking at the support battle. It's been very engaging all day. I think that the sound barrier engages. I think that is fight winning right now. I think if you can hold it off and get the second one off, or you use it on tempo, like we saw from Cronus, making sure that they had that extra boost there going into their last fight to secure the point. This could go either way. I think we're going a full 3 here, to be quite honest.
Well, CMS do get map picks, so they can take us to a place they're choosing here for push. And, well, the verdict is in, and they have made decisions. It's going to be one of our new maps, of course. We're headed to Toronto. It's New Queen Street here for map number 2.
Yay! I cannot wait. Former expat Canadian here, and I love to see it. Ticket T would be very proud of this map, too. I mean, this has its own set of, new variances coming into it. The variables are different. The sight lines are different. There's definitely areas where you can hold high ground inside some of these shopping areas around the bus terminal. So we'll see how these teams decide to, navigate the map, figure out the geometry of it. You and I have been playing quite a bit of Overwatch 2 ourselves, and we really like this high ground right off the bus line, and taking a look there. Of course, hockey being what it is, and I did not realize it was an Omnic Canuck.
Oh yeah,
playing hockey there. So loving that.
It's a maple leaf, theoretically. He's got there's a maple leaf on the jersey at least. So.
But we're called Canucks. It's not just one team. You call Canadians Canucks. It's okay, Jeff. It's okay.
A Canuck is actually a killer whale.
I am aware of what.
Yeah. I was proud to know that information. I was
proud of you too.
I was surprised when I found that. I was like, oh, that's what it is. It's an orca. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Chef screaming in Canadian right now, but we'll be okay with it. We'll see coming out from Choose Money Crew. I like the Zarya here. It's allowing the engages coming in. I mean, you're going to be able to bubble Holy Pig going in, maybe ordering up a dash reset on a kill. That's going to be a lot of staying power. And once this Zarya gets charged, look out.
This is a very strange comp from Shoes Money Crew. Hybrid on the Widowmaker on your screen right now. Pop him you can right out of the gate. That was filthy. Automatic advantage as Lucio is gone. There's another one as Jirachi goes down. Hybrid catching him completely off guard with this Widowmaker pick.
How strange is it now?
The comp is still strange. Hybrid's just that good. Hybrid's just that good. We haven't had a chance to mention that support line. Like, come on.
I mean, it's greedy, but it's also fast. You love to see it. I mean, Holy Pig's gonna have to be the one dealing with these anti-nades coming in. So. You can also cleanse it with a bubble, but that's a waste of a resource right there. So Cal might have to be super strategic with when they let loose with the antis coming in. But now, progress was made, but it's flipped over to CMS. Let's see what Sophie can get done and maybe find where this hybrid Widow is hiding out at.
A bit of a duel there for the center high ground as Kuffa is putting a lot of pressure on a Shoes Money Crew, holding him into that stairwell. Tools, Holy Pig, and the rest of the crew just backing up and daring CMS to approach that tiny stairwell, but CMS are content just to push a little bit of the point. Hybrid trying to rotate around to the outside, but Sophia is able to catch him out. Now CMS moving up into the window and just doing a good job of protecting these flanks and not giving Shoes Money crew any cheeky angles to pick them off as they make their way through this street.
Well, now they have to rotate around the shopping center here, and it's going to be free push going forward. Kuffa has to pop this Primal Rage to keep himself up.
Well, Jirachi takes care of Hybrid, but here comes Holy Pig. The other Genji has the blade first, finds one, but looks around and realizes they have no teammates left. They got to get out of there. Kuffa will not let you escape. No reprieve for you. CMS are going to continue pushing forward. They're close to getting that second spawn unlocked.
They really are, but they had to use Nano to keep Jirachi up and build him towards that blade. So, you know, what do you do here if you're Shoes Money crew? Well, Hybrid's going to bring out the soldiers, so there's going to be a lot more persistent damage coming in on top of CMS. Both sound barriers ready to go, and a grav.
The grav could be massive. Mika needs to hold on to the sound barrier, whereas Corona, I think, could use theirs a little bit more in tempo. Nope, not if you're dead, you can. Now Jirachi's going to go ahead and pull up the blade. Grav is just used to hold it in place. Mika drops the sound barrier, and there's no deaths on the back of that grav. It falls completely with zero value just to try to hold Jirachi at bay, but you still got Sophia there to put the hurt down.
Yep, Sophia gets the pulse bomb in the interim, and now the pursuit is on. So what does Shoe Money crew do here? I mean, really, I'd throw a main here, maybe to stop the progress, maybe to really wall off Kuffa here. Not much that you could do coming into this next fight, though, especially if Sophia lands a nasty stick.
Gorgeous stuff from Sophia there. Ruby never saw it coming. Sound barrier is in, though, and Holy Pig and Hybrid are able to make good use of it. Find two immediately. Now Jirachi is caught in that small room, a little bit of a ninja duel. Holy Pig emerging victorious with that one. And the bot making their way back the other direction.
Yeah, getting a little bit of a speed increase here as we have adjusted the beta around, so not as long to wait to get back to more progress. But, I mean, they're down 70, almost 70 meters to CMS, so... Hybrid, the swap that's come over, I think it's definitely leaning into more of what they need to be seeing from a hit scan player, even though we did see some beautiful work come out from the Widowmaker.
Yeah, we saw Ruby pick up a pair of kills, including one with the newly improved kick, as Zenyatta's been doing their leg work. You know, not skipping leg days. Zenyatta now has more powerful muscles down there to kick you with. It gave Shoes Money crew an early advantage in this fight, but they still have a lot of more fights to win. Like that dot where they get the new spawn, the bot stops there for long enough for almost a whole team fight to take place.
Exactly, and I mean, you're looking into this next fight, no nano engage for Shoes Money crew, so CMS is going to have a free nano fight coming in, and I'm looking for Cal to put it in on top of Kuffa. There it is.
Yep, Kuffa chasing back Shoes Money crew. They have to run away from this. They have to respect this nano. Even with the Discord on Kuffa, still just so durable, especially with this Primal Rage. Ruby's in trouble. Ruby 93 cannot quite get to that Transcendence and gets just battered down. Now CMS are escorting this bot all the way back down the streets of Toronto.
Yep, and I mean, we're looking at both DPS ultimates here to contest. We're about 2 and 45 coming up left here in the round. There's that Transcendence that you were looking for. So will Sophia land a pulse and pull it out?
That would be ideal. Then you would have Shoes Money crew's DPS ults to worry about, who have a lot of weapons to bring this thing back, and it's going to be Holy Pig starting things off. Slice down Cal immediately, looking for another target. Jirachi the focus. Turn on to Kuffa as well. 2 quick kills. Kuffa does respond with 1, but it'll eventually fall. And Shoes Money crew efficiently take this fight. Despite a good pulse bomb at the end, Holy Pig will still clean it up, and it's Shoes Money crew who are now in command.
Yep, they've got the hold of the Transcendence as well. So once Ruby went down, the obvious target was God, Jeff. So, you know, even though it kind of, you know, the trades do come out for them, it still goes in favor of Shoes Money crew.
Kuffa comes screaming in on the approach, but it's a grab there. Discord in. Nicely done. A lot more value out of the grab this time from Tools. And Shoes Money crew, again, winning a fight very efficiently. 1 ult fight wins, 2 in a row there for Shoes Money crew.
Yep, now they have both support ultimates, Jeff, coming into this fight, so they can actually beat for this blade coming in and keep themselves nice and healthy.
And you can see the yellow bar there. That will signal a spot for a new spawn. Kuffa coming in, and it's ults all around. Jirachi with the Blade versus the Tac Visor, a hybrid. Soundbarrier was there for both of our squads, and it took a while for somebody to die. Now it's 1 DPS for each, and it's a 4v4 on this point. Ruby used the Transcendence and didn't really get much out of it, did not get any additional kills off of it. Holy Pig eventually able to pick up 2. Oh, what a slick little move from Holy Pig to find that subsequent kill onto Jirachi.
Yeah, now they're hunting for Winston in the back line, and we'll see how much work they can get done now. That's a great little sequence of events coming out from Shoes Money Crew, so Blade will be up in this next fight. Nothing to answer it.
Yeah, it's CMS going to have to focus down Holy Pig. Otherwise, Shoes Money Crew will be in a good position. Only 40 seconds left on the clock, and the Blade is coming out. Immediately, Cal is the target once again. Everybody else kind of bunched up in the corner. Holy Pig not really able to find much with it, but the Ana with the bulk of the sustain, and CMS are forced just to kind of hide around the corner. Choose Money Crew are looking to pounce. They're trying to go into the small room. Kuffa's surrounded. Kuffa's in trouble. Kuffa has 1 health. Make that 0 as Kuffa goes back. And now CMS missing their tank and their primary source of healing. Holy Pig able to just dash and dice out all the damage. All the damage, that is.
No, I mean, dash and dine. I mean, not very nice to do, but we can do that going into these fights. Cal has swapped over to the Moira and immediately got deleted. So this high ground here that you're seeing Kuffa take, this is going to be a point of contention because it's so hard for Shoes Money Crew to get up there. I mean, looking for Grav, Tools has got to get this built up in a hurry.
Tools in a duel with Kuffa at the moment. Sophia managed to work around, pick up 1. Jirachi picked up another one. The Shoes Money Crew getting punished for not leaving a tip. As CMS are now able to win this when it mattered most. Shoes Money Crew put a lot of good fights together, but it is the overtime that brings it out in the end. That is the fight that wins you the map, and CMS do indeed send us to that map 3. Your prediction's coming true, Billy. We're going the distance.
I mean, I prognosticate when I can. I mean, Holy Pig has definitely not been inting today. We got to give the credit where credit is due, Jeff. Has definitely been putting work on in the offseason here with this Genji. So, I mean, the full value definitely gotten. The dash resets were stinky, and the flex were even better. So, we're getting exactly what we wanted from Holy Pig. 0 ints and more value out of the Blades.
Exciting stuff. Exciting stuff. I've been waiting a long time to cast a push map, and that was even more fun than I anticipated it being, especially when you have teams of this caliber. What a back and forth. I thought Shoes Money Crew were going to be able to pull it out. It was looking so good. They were doing so good with their ultimates, being very disciplined in that regard. And then in that final fight, the DPS duo, Jirachi and Sophia, who is Chiming Miracle, by the way, former SMC NA players. So they're able to take it to their old colleagues, the old org, and send us to this map 3.
I mean, we're going to see Escort coming up here, Jeff, and man, this one once again could go either way. It'll be SMC's pick this time to see where we're going to head. I mean, do we go to Coliseo? I mean, could that be the map that they decide to bring out here? Because if they do, I think that could be a fantastic map coming out.
I would love to see Royale. I would love to see Circuit Royale. I think that would be a good one. I am sticking with Royale, by the way. I'm not calling it Circuit Royal. That just like hurts my brain.
French.
It's
they're in Monaco. They speak French in Monaco. It's Circuit Royale. It's very easy.
There you go. It's yeah, you say that. You say that. I'm not trying to say circuit on broadcast with a French accent. That would be an insult to all French-speaking peoples on the planet, and I'm not doing it. But guess what? Our predictions are coming true. Map 3. We're headed to Monaco.
Yes. So many good sight lines on this map.
Such an interesting map.
The geometry alone just makes it so good for the defense to be able to sit and poke. You have to pull yourself out into the open to get any kind of cart progress, and there's little hiding spots to go peekaboo out of, especially at the atelier around the first corner coming into the hairpin corner. I really like that area for a lot of focus damage, especially if you see the attacking team cuddling up in there and trying to get their heals up. If you run a Sigma on this map, and we know that Tools has a great Sigma, this could be an area where you could see a 5-man flux come out and really decimate a team. So What does Kuffa have up the sleeve? The Winston has been fantastic, but we'll see if they have a different tank into boot here, because you're going to need some shielding coming around the corner. And that Winston bubble, while it is a little bit better, still flimsier than the experimental barrier.
Fun fact, that was the first map that Shoes Money Crew had dropped through this entire tournament. So winners bracket 4, both of our teams had come in, off of beating 3 teams apiece. Shoes Money Crew had 2-0'd all of their opponents prior to today. So CMS so already making a splash. CMS had only dropped 1 map in their own right. Now doubling that. I go back to your Sigma point though. We did see an awesome flux yesterday. We got a double rock kill on a huge gravitic flux. And the Sigma has been pretty prevalent here in Circuit Royale because of this kind of the long, narrow geometry of the map. And the way the sightlines work, that makes this a very unique map in the game. And it kind of requires its own bit of strategy.
Well, I mean, the verticality alone is, I think, what makes this so interesting, because you've got elevation changes, not only through the streets phase, but also when you get inside the hotel. Definitely has high ground and different pinch points that you can go into. So, I mean, the elevation, the verticality of this map, I think, is what makes it so interesting, because while it's linear in a certain area, it's definitely vertical in all areas, and that's where I think that you see the most value. I think that a Widowmaker, we've seen it work great in Owl. We'll see if it works here in Tier 2. I think that an Ashe here actually is probably the better option with the better kit, because you can also have the Bob with the contest, and if you throw it behind them and there's no shielding ready to go, you are in deep doo-doo, my friend. So I think
feel like Bob would get a lot of value. Yeah,
I think Bob would get a ton of value here. So, I mean, I'm looking, if I'm looking at DPS lines, I would like to see an Ashe and maybe an Echo, just to bring the eye level up, to make that elevation change even more extreme. So there's a lot here to digest. There's a lot here for these teams to be able to decide how they're going to path it. The attacking team, I feel, it's almost a 2CP-ish kind of feel, where you're really having to butt your head against the wall just to get any kind of progress, especially if you have the right support line. Baptiste is king here. Once again, with those exo boots being able to get up high, you can really take the support line and just rain down healing without really any kind of a fuss.
And indeed, as we see Shoes Money Crew on the defense, rocking that Baptiste. It's going to be Crotus. Pulling out that healer, but with the triple shot and all the damage that comes with it. Highly effective. And I mean, here, just in this very first point, you have this really important high ground that we're seeing Hybrid on the Widowmaker take a position there.
No illegal moves here today because we don't have the May. So we'll see no illegal maneuvers coming out. But, I mean, close hold here. I mean, you've got areas here where you can actually throw one of your hit scans up here, up into the high ground. And I haven't figured out the name of this building yet. I haven't, dove in. But I think they're going to go ahead and kind of retreat back and work off bridge here, especially with Holy Pig on this Tracer. In and out. Definitely be looking for that coming out of Sophia's. Taunting SMC. We'll see what they do.
Yeah, CMS are going to dive into this Sigma Widowmaker composition. Jirachi discorded, just has to escape back up to high ground, can't continue to press the issue. Wave number 2 trying to come in, but Sophia gets punished on the attack. CMS forced to attack with 4. Hybrid now as Jirachi. Oh, that one hurt. Jirachi's going to feel that in the morning. There's not enough aspirin in the world for CMS right now. Hybrid's just doing him dirty.
And looking for them with a jump shot over the top of the building. Hybrid feeling the oats right now. And, I mean, the progress being made right now is zilch. We're going to see just a nice hold here. And Tools can hold, shield, and wait for the damage to come in. You can rock up Kuffa once they get the dive in. As we see there, it also gets damage on the shield.
Yeah, it was a good block, good bubble coming out of Kuffa. Jirachi deals with that pesky Widowmaker in the back. Hybrid's Reign of Terror currently put to an end. And CMS do a really good job. Those corners were so dangerous to approach with all of this damage coming out. And CMS are able to dissect the defense and kind of pull it apart at the seams. They've gotten around the first dangerous corner, but this hairpin turn, this is another story.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at Holy Pig get stick there. He's going to get nothing out of it. Definitely an opportunity missed there for Holy Pig, but sights are up. out for Hybrid, so they're going to be able to see exactly where they're pathing through.
Yep. Classic nano engage from Kaffa, pushing forward. Immortality field out early, and Jirachi close to a blade. That could be a mistake coming out from Crotus as Ruby's going to go down. Crotus tried to escape. No, cannot. Dies 99% to ult, and the supports are gone. Front line getting cleaned up as well, and CMS will pick up point A.
That's definitely exactly what they wanted to see out of it. I think the pulse bomb miss there from Holy Pig is what turned that fight around. You didn't see Tools be able to engage with that gravitic flux. So Hybrid swapping over to the 76 now. That's once again going to be more of that medium to long range damage, but Hybrid goes down early.
Yeah, Shoes Money Crew struggling to just get out of the hotel doors. CMS doing a good job of keeping pressure on, and now have quite the ult bank to work with, Billy.
Well, I mean, they're going to be able to, pump through the damage coming from this window, but they completely devalue it, just pushing everybody out of the way.
I don't think Tools got the slam down on that gravitic flux. I'm not entirely sure. It looked like the kill went through first. Nikon does fall, but Kuffa is primal into the back, able to pick up Crotus as well. So CMS still have the edge in this fight. Kuffa with resources to work with is keeping everybody at bay as that cart slowly presses forward. Tool swapping on over to a Diva, now emerging out, just trying to negate some of the damage coming through, add a little bit more mobility and speed. And Shoes Money Crew quickly taking advantage of it, but the Nano Boost is there. Kuffa is going to force out a Transcendence with that. Still dance around the bubble and maybe stuck around a little too long. Eventually does get punished, and CMS have to back out.
Let's see if we can get more value out of this Pulse Bomb here for Holy Pig. Hold on to it for the next fight, especially pressuring down these supports.
Yeah, Cow gets taken out of the fight. No Pulse Bomb
Back
necessary.
Back cap.
So yeah, Sophia, they don't know.
They don't know.
They don't know. Nobody has caught this. That's gonna be it. Not like this, Shoes Money Crew. Not like this.
Oh my lord.
Not in my game.
They did it in our game, Jeff. Jirachi laughing at them. Calling him out for being EU. Omega lol in the chat right now, but Blade is going to be coming up here soon for Jirachi and both DPS ultimates into this fight for Shoes Money Crew.
I'm actually a little tilted right now for them. Oh, Holy Pig does land the stick onto Cal. Attack Visor coming in from the high ground. You can see Tools moving back to try to protect that. Need to get one more with this. They do. Tools will find that kill onto Jirachi. And Shoes Money Crew able to find a little bit of redemption. Get a little bit of that pride back after that embarrassing display.
I mean, we call that steak haché in French, hamburger. You got beat up like hamburger there and didn't even see it coming. So CMS definitely has enough to push with right now. Tools almost has a self-destruct 2 fights in.
Jirachi moved up, got the rest of that blade picked up. Now Cuff is coming in. This fight looking a little disjointed. I think both are just trying to get their ultimates finished, and both succeed in doing so. You see Cuff kind of just falls back into that corner. Shoes Money Crew have positioned themselves on the high ground. I'm very curious how CMS choose to approach this. They have a long way to go to close this gap, and there's a lot of damage coming at them. It's going to be a Nano Blade coming out. Sophia's able to get one already. Jirachi moving up to the top. Coronas and Ruby stack their support ultimates to fend off Jirachi's Nano Blade. Your CMS, you're happy with that result. Now Kuffa going in with the Primal Rage, see what they can clean up. All the while, CMS are buying so much space to work with, Billy.
Yeah, but I mean, double support ultimates, but notwithstanding it, they really did bite the bullet on that one, and Kuffa's Primal just absolutely decimated any kind of a stand there.
Cal not only got the sleep, but the finish on the Cronus as well. So that retreat power of the Lucio temporarily out of the fight. CMS, everybody moving up to that high ground, clean up that top portion here on the final resting place for this F1 car. As Cal's on point, trying to escort to the garage. It's going to be a sound barrier coming out. CMS not really able to get much with it. Okay, finally Cronus is down. They do get a little bit of value off of that one and stop Cronus from building up a sound barrier of their own. Tools is anti-nated, has to get out of there, has the self-destruct to get a fresh mech, but Sophia says no. Gets that Pilot Diva down. But CMS are going to do this without their Ana. Need to clean up these kills quickly in this heavy respawn advantage as Ruby lands the boot onto Jirachi. And each one of these kills for the defense is another point of hope that they might be able to stick around.
Oh, not with you just jumping off the map there. Sophia's making the better part of Valor. They're going to come back with the tack visor. So smart jump off the map there. coming out of Sophia, not giving over any more ult charge. And now here is the high ground contest that I talk about. We're looking at them, holding high ground here. The verticality of this map, especially on point 3, there's so many nooks and crannies of this hotel, especially out here with Reef the Duck.
Yep, fighting around Purple Ducky. Transcendence coming out, and Kuffa falls on this one. Nice aggressive Transcendence. You can see a lot of damage as Jirachi is the last to fall. Good hold here for Shoes Money Crew, and 45 seconds on the clock for CMS to finish this map.
Well, I mean, good ultimate discipline coming out from CMS, though, Jeff. They hold on to the TAC visor. They hold on to the Nano as well. So you're going to be looking at a Nano engage coming into this next fight for CMS. Hybrid's going to have to land a pretty nasty TAC visor coming into this fight.
Uses it early. And it doesn't dissuade Kuffa from moving up to that high ground at all. Has the Nano boost, and Kuffa fearlessly jumping onto this TAC visor, finds the kill on the corners and pops the Primal Rage. They're all outside. Everybody's going to get sent off the edge. Hybrid saves at the last moment, but it's not in time. And it's just Tools out here with very little health, about 150 health for the mech. CMS is on point, escorting this cart in. 5 seconds on the clock and about as many meters to go. Gronish shows up onto the point just in time to get chopped in half. TAC visor eventually coming out. This one from Sophia. Double DPS ult should be enough to seal the deal here for CMS. As they're pushing Hybrid back to the door. There is a little bit of a stall on point. It's Tools in the mech. No longer in the mech. No longer of this world. CMS get 3 points on the board.
See Kuffa bringing out the Wrecking Ball there just to spin to win, just in case they needed it. But man, I mean, it took everything for them to get that point, and the verticality of this map rearing its ugly head again, Jeff. And, I think that Shoes Money Crew, while they do give up all 3 points, I think they take this as a win. Now, do you keep running the Sigma here when you come out of spawn for Shoes Money Crew? I think that you do. I think that you afford yourself a shooting blind, especially if Hybrid's going to pull out the Widowmaker again, because we saw that he was a very big Chad here, big man on campus taking heads and asking names later. CMS, will they answer with a long-range sniper of their own to take advantage of these extremely long sight lines on points A and B?
It can be so tough to push with the Sigma and the Widowmaker. That's the problem. If you don't get the kills, you can end up just wasting a lot of time kind of sitting around in the poke phase of the fight and not really getting a whole lot done because the defense are able to kite around, use some high ground, and try to avoid it. So it becomes really tough. Hybrid is showing us that Widow still has some time to change their mind. CMS not making much changes on the defense, coming back out with a, we'll call it a traditional dive comp. Why not?
I agree. I think that they're looking for speed and sped up engages coming into the point. So, what's
the SMC?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I did not know that either. If SMC have their dithers about them, you go in early with Tools.
Ooh.
Oh, and you look at them. Oh no, sneakiness.
I like this. I haven't seen this yet. All right. Oh, what a nice bio-nade! Oh no, SMC saw it coming. Oh my goodness, and Ruby lands just the biggest anti-nade in there, and it quickly deals with CMS. It was a cool idea. I love the creativity. Unfortunately, it did not work.
I don't think they were expecting Ruby to come out on the Ana, to be honest. I thought they were probably expecting the Baptiste once again. And there you go. I mean, chess matches always are good. This one goes definitely in favor of Ruby, 36 to Nano already.
We see Hybrid making the swap over to the Soldier 76. Gets slept and killed immediately here at the start of fight number 2, but another nice bio-nade coming out of Ruby, and Kuffa has to get out of this fight. It means the DPS of CMS are trying to fend off the line on their own. Do a good job of it as Tools is taken down low. It forces the nade from Ruby to be used defensively. Now it's just a battle for the bridge. Both teams kind of positioned on low ground at the moment, but this is on Shoes Money Crew to take this ground away from CMS. Ruby 90% to that Nano, leading the charge still against Cal. And that will be the go side here. It's ready to go. It's on Holy Pig. It's headed into the back. Bio-nade onto Jirachi, and Holy Pig goes dice and through the pack. Gets the dash reset there. Almost has Jirachi down. Can't quite finish him off. Kuffa is able to primal, and CMS are buying some time. Even finding some picks here, Billy.
Yeah, I mean, on the primal side, he's going to go down here. And now there's going to be clear sailing water here going through for the members of Shoes Money Crew. I say that with a nano blade engage.
Yeah, Jirachi doesn't even need to pull out the katana. Just finds 2 with the dashes. CMS stabilize.
Well, I mean,
What a brave move! Like throwing the nano out like that. That was awesome.
I thought I heard it go off, and apparently it did not. So now sound barrier going to be available to both teams in this fight. They are stuck at bridge right now.
And only 2 minutes remaining. Blades available for both of our Genjis. Difference is the sound barrier is currently available. Jirachi's going to go in, and Cronus is going to go ahead and pop that sound barrier for Shoes Money Crew. Now the response, in kind, mirrored from both sides, but it's Cuff who finds the kill. Holy Pig does not get the value that they were looking for out of that Blade, and CMS are still controlling this corner. Now pushing in, trying to punish Hybrid. Hybrid's going to heal up for a moment. Nice headshots means Kuffa has to back out, and Hybrid now has attack visor. Suddenly, the hunted have become the hunters, and Shoes Money Crew are storming forward, trying to see what kills they can find. Jirachi went low, but didn't quite go down. Bubble's going to block the sleep coming out of Ruby, and Cronus falls. A good kite from CMS, and the counterpunch is solid.
Counterpunch is everything that you expected it to be, and I'm looking for, Kufra to get this nano. Oh my gosh, what an anti coming in from Ruby. They're going to have nano in this next fight.
Yeah, they got to survive that nano that got on to Kuffa. Some of them managed to do so. Now the response is Hybrid is the recipient of the nano from Ruby, and Shoes Money Crew, though, still just struggling to find space. Look at this! Kuffa has pushed them all the way back to their spawn doors. Only 40 seconds remaining, and CMS are one defensive fight away from taking this winner's bracket series.
I mean, I'm just thinking of Crocodile Dundee. That's not a knife, that's a knife. Kuffa definitely getting the best of tools right now. They're going to be able to get on point and touch with the Primal coming in.
Kuffa is going to fall. Sophia as well. So, courtesy of Hybrid, nice 2K, and Shoes Money Crew aren't quite done with this map just yet.
Well, sound barrier battle is going to be what I'm looking at next. Mikan completely even with Cronus right now, so we'll see what is done here. Maybe Tools needs to go up and just take care of the back line.
Tools drops down and gets the contest with less than a meter to go. Oh, excuse me, Kuffa does. Sophia able to find the kill, and CMS are on top early. Tools is in trouble. Nice anti-nade, but Mikan's able to drop the sound barrier, and Sophia gets topped off once the purple fades. Tools pushing it into the back, trying to find some space, but Jirachi receives a nano, goes in deep, has the blade, and the supports could be in trouble. Hybrid trying to respond in kind. It's a race to see who can get kills first with the katana, and it's Jirachi who leads in that race. It's CMS who will take this series. They take 2 maps back-to-back, pull the pseudo reverse sweep against Shoes Money Crew, and we'll move on through our winners bracket.
I mean, this was I think that this was a tale of 2 very well matched teams. Just the verticality and the fragging that came out from both sides. I mean, you're looking at it right now. Mikan had the better of the sound barriers for these 2 teams. So, I mean, it was a hair's width apart between these 2 teams, but in the end, CMS do take it over their former teammates and have bragging rights friendly in the SMC server, I'm sure.
I'm sure that they will maximize those bragging rights. They will take every bit of value they can get out of those bragging rights, Billy. I have no doubt. Oh man, already an outstanding start to day number 2 here at the NatterX Community Beta Clash. But that's just our first series. We got 2 more coming at you. We're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna get set up. When we return, Redbirds taking on Altiora. We'll see you back here in just a moment. Hello, this is Jeff from Map 5 Podcast, and I'm here with Icy. Have a little discussion about Overwatch 2. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, my friend?
I play tank for Pirates in Pajamas, and I've been playing tank in contenders for the last couple of years, off tank to be specific. But now in Overwatch 2, I am a tank player.
It's all in one, right? Like, is there even a discernible difference anymore? It feels like the lines have blurred.
There's no more second tank, so now the main tank player has to play all 8 characters. Obviously, it depends on meta, but as you see in Overwatch League, they thought that the meta would be off tank, so they picked up a bunch of off tank players. And then very quickly it switched to Winston. So learning all these heroes is definitely going to be difficult for tank players moving into Overwatch 2.
What's been your favorite part of the beta so far? I know you've been playing a ton of it. What's been your favorite aspect?
Probably Doomfist. I love Doomfist. I love all the changes. I think Orisa, really fun character. Doomfist as well, just super fun. All the characters they changed, they did a really good job with. They said that they're gonna do the same with supports and DPS as well. So I think if they do that, it'll be really fun for like all the roles.
This actually leads very nicely into my next question. So we know the beta is coming kind of in iterations. What would you like to see added in the next iteration of the beta? You're talking about changes in DPS, changes in supports, anything specific there, or is there something else that you'd like to see added to help improve the beta overall?
I think making supports and DPS more fun should be ideal because I'm used to Overwatch 1 where tank queues are less than a minute. So I would really like it if they added a support character or two. DPS, maybe change some of them a little bit just so I can have less of a queue time. That'd be cool.
Let's get some of those players over to the support side. It's a good sign for the direction, though, right? Because what they did, like you say, with Doomfist, with Orisa, a lot of the changes are a lot of fun, and that's been reflected in those queue times.
Yeah, whoever's in charge of that is doing like a really great job. I think Ursa's kit is... They took her from the most boring hero in the game by far to the most enjoyable hero in the game.
You can't argue with that in the slightest. Let's shift our focus a little bit. Let's talk about the community. Let's talk about Path to Pro. If you could make one improvement to the Path to Pro season going into 2022, what would it be?
I think getting the people who are doing good in Path to Pro, putting more of a spotlight on them, showing team atmosphere, kind of like what they do for Overwatch League, but do it for contenders teams because a lot of the players that are moving up from Tier 2, you don't know much about them. For example, like Vulcan moving up, he's a very quiet person, and unless you're like on a team with him or friends with him, you don't know much about him. And if they did something where it's like, oh, meet Vulcan, right? Or like inside Odyssey's team, and then they just like do a little video of what it's like to be in a scrim with them. I think that would be really cool and increase viewership for contenders as a whole.
I think that's a brilliant idea. I'm over here taking notes. Yeah, maybe us at Map 5 can contribute to that a little bit. That's absolutely brilliant. The beta brings a lot of new drive moving into the future and kind of renewed energy for the scene. What is one thing that you hope to see moving into a new era of Overwatch?
Definitely more of kind of what I just talked about, where it's like you feel more connected to the other players, like you know more about them. Jonak, for example, where he's like, everyone knew who Jonak was, and he built that for himself of like playing so much over the years. But these newer players that are just joining the league, unless you watch their stream, you don't really know who they are. Being able to like connect players to fans, or just players to players in general, and just building a community around that would be really beneficial.
I love it. I love your emphasis on spotlighting the T2 players. I think that's really important. And I mean, going back to the Jonak example, I mean, we know the octopus tattoo and had a real identity to it, even that was reflected in that skin. That brings us to the end of our formal questions. Any final thoughts here before we move on with our tournament?
Shout out to my team, Pip. A lot of the players we have are former talent you've seen from a couple of my past teams, like Lep, Nas, Seeker. All really great players. They're getting better every day. And then we have some Tier 3 players that we're bringing up. Zira, he's really good at Tracer. He's definitely on the come up. We make fun of him because he sounds like Zoms. It's really funny. And then we also have Pink, who's a starter, our flex support. He's also really great. He's like 15. He's definitely going to turn into a really great player. And then also Peace, the Genji player, has a ton of potential, but you'll probably have to wait a bit to see him in officials.
Well, we certainly look forward to it. Hey, Icy, thank you so much for taking the time to come talk with us. Really appreciate you, my friend. And, well, let's get back into the Natter Beta Clash. We'll see you in the next one. And it is time for our second series of the day. It is Jeff and Billy back at you here in the Natter X Community Beta Clash. And, well, we got to give a shout out to one of our sponsors, make this whole tournament possible. Champeria. Thank you to our sponsor, Champeria GG. If you're an analyst, staff member, or player looking to grow your skill level in Overwatch, Champeria.gg is the place where your journey to esports startup begins. The only platform with match performance analytics for teams, Champeria.gg, also introducing player-specific performance analytics this month. Head over to the platform, create your team, invite players, and start scrimming. Upload your data today.
I mean, yeah. Go visit them out. I haven't had a chance to look at the site myself yet, but it sounds like a very cool platform for us here in the esports scene. But
absolutely,
let's talk about what's going on here. We've had an appetizer about what T2 is going to look like here on Overwatch 2. Now it's time for the main course. We're going to have Redbird Esports versus Altiora, two teams that have already guaranteed themselves top 8 in the contenders tournament. So, oh man, this is our first real look at what we're going to see moving forward.
Yeah, it's kind of a preview to the summer showdown that got announced, and I'm looking forward to this. To see this first glimpse, I feel really blessed, Billy. Like, this is a treat. This is going to be a treat of a match. We got Redbird Esports coming in. Let's look at this roster. You're looking at Gig, and Vandette is Moving Fish, who we saw play for them in the last Ride tournament. Potentially, maybe sticking with this squad as we move further into the 2022 Path to Pro season. Echo, Vision, up at the DPS role, Liar and Rupel down in support line. Redbird Esports have been on a tear. This new roster has been awesome. It's looked really good through this season after their 2020 run roster all got pulled up to Overwatch League.
Yeah, I mean, I'm loving what we're seeing there. I think Rupel has to be somebody that we're looking for on the Ana because they have an absolutely disgusting Ana. But we've got some former drifters coming over here from Altiora. I mean, Crimson and Ship were one of my favorite tier 3 tank lines ever. Choppa coming back into the scene as well. And then we all know and love Magic Meatball and Skyward. This is going to be a heck of a support line in their own right. So we're going to have tank battle versus support battle once again. I think that Chopper, if we see the Chopper of old, Echo and Vision are going to have their work cut out for them.
It's gonna be close. It's gonna be close. And I think what we got okay. Anyway, I may have written stuff down wrong on my anyway. But I want to talk about the synergy here. So there's a lot of synergy built into this Altiora squad, and I think it's going to serve them really well heading into this 2022, heading into Overwatch 2. Let's take a look at our maps here for our second series of the day. Once again, this is going to be a 1-2, and we're starting things off on Oasis.
Oasis is going to present some very unique challenges here. If we're going to see monkey dominance once again, it's going to have to come down to nano engages as we saw in our last series. So this is what I'm looking at right now. Is Monkey going to reign supreme here? Because Wrecking Ball just isn't in a good enough spot right now. You could run the Reinhardt if you're on University, where it's more brawl-centric. But, I'm really looking at, Monkey being kind of the standard for all tank players right now. I think the Tracer also has to be a standby unless you're going to run the Soldier 76 in the hit scan role. It really comes down to the flex DPS. How do you decide that you want to run this? Do you want to run the Junkrat, where you have, just spam damage coming onto the point when you're trying to contest? Or do you run with a Widowmaker or a Genji? I mean, there are so many options, especially on University, that I think that this is really going to be, kind of a crux test here. We're going to see, for our first time on stream, Redbird Esports, and see what they look like in a 5v5 environment. We know how potent they were last year and having so much of their roster go to Owl. This new iteration of it, Flutie, we had a chance to talk with her, and she's very proud of this team, and she's very proud of the contacts and the scholarships that they haven't gone out to these players. So, collegiate team versus a T2 team, I love to see it. We're going to see how Oasis goes down, but man, this could be a very entertaining match for everybody in the tier 2 scene. I'm calling it a 2-1 right now for Redbird Esports. That's going to be my prediction going out.
Okay. I think I would echo that, Pred. It's gonna be close though, and I'm really curious to see the strategies coming in. This is one of my favorite parts of moving into Overwatch 2 is the strategies are still being developed. There's a lot of untapped creativity that I think the coaches could really bring to this. So let's how you got Coach Wheats, who may be the strongest coach in all of T2. I mean, there's room for debate on that, but it's one of my favorite coaches. And Swordwalker on the other side, who has put together a phenomenal squad coming from just Drifters and previously ATK mode. Most of the players from Altiora come from that squad. So, I mean, it's kind of, if you're looking at the brains behind the teams in Wheats versus Swordwalker and the strategies they pull out here, do we see something creative? Do we see something unique that we haven't seen before? Or, take a page out of, let's say, like the Dallas Fuel playbook where, they're pulling in with a Zarya and the Reaper and completely going against the meta. Anything is possible, and, the world is their oyster. As we head in to start things off, it's going to be Gardens, our first map.
I have to say that I prefer Oasis at night because you don't get the sun glare. I wish they would have done that with Gibraltar too, but we didn't get that, at least in this iteration of the beta. But I think the high ground control right now is going to be paramount for both of these teams. You're going to have to path your way up there and then take the sight lines, especially if you're going to be running the Soldier. But look at this. They're looking for mobility. They're looking for the early teleport and then swap over to Tracer.
Oh, and Chopper is pulling out the Reaper. This is gonna make Gig's life a lot more difficult trying to push it. Look at that. Bionated immediately half health. Gig had to get out of there just as quickly as they got in and still couldn't find safety. Altiora. That's Reaper pick. Proven very strong. And again, it goes back to that decision making and Altiora making the right decisions early here to start things off.
Yeah, and I mean, we're looking at Echo here on the side here, getting a lot of work done. They're going to lose the first point here, but I think that you're right. This Reaper pick, especially the ability to teleport behind the line and get into the back line, that's going to be a big focus here. And like you said, Gig is going to have to really be wary of this bubble management.
There's just such short sight lines, excuse me. So, I mean, it's easy for Chopper to lay and wait. And once again, you see Gig eats the Bionade and has to jump right out, and Chopper finds value by taking Echo out of the fight. So far, the Reaper is reigning supreme between these two squads, and Redbird are struggling to find a way in.
Well, I mean, it's all about, being able to take the damage in and being able to resuscitate the health bars. So, I mean, Skyward already has Nano ahead of Rupel.
And a lot of that is just do that positioning advantage, the teleport in out of the beginning. Chopper jumping down from the high ground is going to be the recipient of that nano. Going into the back and let the team deal with Gig and Echo. Echo does have this pulse bomb ready to go, try to bring it back, and Chopper's not able to find a whole lot with the nano boost, but Skyward finds Echo and manages to avoid the pulse, but here comes Redbird storming on through. It took him a bit to pry that door open, but once they did, they just kicked it right on down.
And you see the breakdance there from Crimson. Knew he was dead to right, so it made it entertaining for us to see. Man, Echo, now the swap going over to the Echo. So you're going to raise the eyes of the verticality here. There's an aerial threat that Chopper is definitely going to have to be wary of, especially with those sticky bombs. Even if you Wraith out of it, you're going to have the rest of the team pouncing on you once you come out of the Wraith.
Oh, and I love this pick. I mean, Biz might be able to get a little bit of damage done onto Echo's Echo, but Chopper is going to struggle to find value against that hero, who can just float above the point. Oh, nice stick onto Vision. We just see poof into thin air as Biz finds a great opener. Now looking for more, but Rubel's in trouble. Rubel's getting forced back, and Redbirds are scrambling. Gig uses the Primal Rage just to stay alive, and Altiora are just bypassing it. They're not even paying much attention to it. With Crimson popping one of their own, Crimson's able to find Rupel in the back and force Redbirds all the way back out. Oh, look, chasing down the Echo, and Echo just has to get out of dodge.
Well, I mean, good ultimate charge for the Echo from Echo there, but I'm looking at Death Blossom right now. I think you hold up this nano and you go with the Tornado Sirens going in, Jeff.
And Chopper ready to go. Almost another nano to couple with it. You see Chopper waiting up in the little cubby between the two entrances here, just waiting for Gig to push through. Crimson is calling out that positioning. Echo had moved on to the point. Biz is able to chase them off momentarily. It's going to be a nano tac visor coming out of Vision, and the rest of Redbirds are trying to open this thing up. It's Echo who's able to finish off the kills on the back of that, but Chopper goes down the Death Blossom, finds two. As the Nano fades on Biz, they're looking to hunt down somebody, but Vision takes him out of the fight. Now Chopper comes up with a third. Nice pounce from Crimson. And Altiora are going to take this for sub-map, clean up what remains of Redbird, and move up 1-0 here on Oasis.
Well, that's kind of a shocking result considering how well we've seen Redbird's Esports playing. Echo might be able to get back in here and get a duplicate off. It just depends on what kind of a staying power that we see coming out of Liar.
Oh, nice sleep. Oh, Ripple trying to pull this thing back. Props to Liar as well, who just solo sound barrier to keep hope alive for Redbirds. And that did not go in vain. Unbelievable. Redbirds able to make it back onto this point. They have to invest heavily to do it, but they keep themselves alive, defying my expectations. Well done. Well done, Redbird.
See the last second Nano come out from the duplicated Ana. And now what do you do with Echo here on the Echo? So we'll see what Redbirds can really do here. Gig is coming up close on a Primal, so that'll buy some time. But if you don't keep a Chopper out of your Winston's face right now, it's going to be bye-bye time for you.
Now, I will say Redbird do have the positional advantage, so it's going to be more difficult for Chopper to move in to close this gap. Just going to let Gig jump in, but Chopper gets burned down immediately. No longer with that beautiful sleep. Oh my, what a sleep out of Skyward. Now Crimson jumping in with the Primal Rage into the backline. Gig is going to respond in kind and see who can take out who's backline first, but it's Rupel with the big sleep dart that moves, well, that removes Crimson from the fight. And Redbird are back in control, back in the lead here as Gig is going to find another one on a Magic 8 Ball. Crimson doing their darndest to bring it back as Chopper's return, but Chopper's immediately down low, has to grab the Mega. Biz on point, has about 50 health in a duel with Echo. It is a 99-99 battle down to the wire. Sacrificer coming out, Nano Boost on Division. Looking for targets, find Biz immediately. 2 more targets there, but Magic 8 Ball keep him standing with the sound barrier. Magic 8 Ball on the outside, gets hunted down by Vision. Now Crimson diving in, and their fate is sealed as well. Nice flick on to Chopper, and Redbirds bring this thing all the way back. It was so dire. It was down the wire with a solo sound barrier, and Redbird turned that into a sub-map win.
That's just persistence. That's perseverance at its greatest. We saw the Echo transfer duplicate onto the Ana, provided that extra shielding and extra health bars. Man, Altiora has got to be kicking themselves that they did not close this out 2-0. But that means that we get to go to University now, and we're going to see if there's going to be a swap up here in the tank lines and Gig. Yeah, Gig's going to bring out the German Crusader. A little bit more of a stagnant brawl here as we're looking at Echo going over to the May. So you're definitely going to be looking to wall off Crimson from any kind of healing and really just pounce upon that main tank and solidify your hold on the point.
Or even Chopper. If they can't lock down the Winston, maybe locking down the Reaper is the play. Because, I mean, the Reaper has the Wraith form, is their escape mechanism, but you can't really get much height with it. I mean, you're forced to try to use a teleport, but you do have some moments of vulnerability in that teleport. So far, it's Altiora with the position advantage. I say that. They are kind of now retreating to regroup a little bit as they try to surround Redbird, but Redbird are able to thwart him and push him back and not lose any reinforcements in the process.
I mean, this has been a great kite around and really taking position, but I mean, Gig got down so low there in the interim, had to actually stop the aggression coming in. There's the wall, and a huge sleep coming out from Skyward again.
Give me a pin in, and Chopper goes down. Everybody caught in the corner, and a beautiful wall indeed. And old school brawl, winning out first fight here for Redbird Esports.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all.
Nope.
I love the fact that we're seeing this brawl come out once again. We saw a little bit of it coming out from the EU teams here and then Owl. So we'll see what they're able to do here. You need to build up to Blizzard. That's definitely going to stall any kind of real aggression coming out from Altiora. Biz has got off the Echo here. And now on to more shield break. You're looking for the storm arrows to crack Gig's shield. This is going to be a different kind of setup here coming from Altiora.
And I think it's required. I think it was easy to forget how much shield pressure the second tank would put onto a main tank. So without that, it's become increasingly difficult to break through the shields that are there, even if it's just one. So I like the Hanzo swap, and I definitely feel like it was a requirement. Into the back goes Crimson. Chopper receives the Nano, and they're trying to pounce on the support line. Immortality Field is up, though, and nobody goes down. Amplification Matrix keeping everybody standing for now. Gig does eventually fall. Wire, it was Bio there for a second, but it's Echo who was the focus of Blizz's arrows. Redbird Esports have lost control at this point.
They have, but now they've got Attack Visor to get back in on, and Gig's going to go ahead and force himself forward. So, I mean, you're looking at Attack Visor and Sound Barrier into this fight. Chopper and Crimson are going to have to definitely watch themselves. Oh, what a shot from Biz!
And the value of that pick, what a smart swap coming from Biz immediately. I mean, able to win the first fight and then finds first pick in this one as well. Redbird just have to sit and wait.
I mean, it's all about time wasting right now if you're Altiora. I mean, you can hold the point a lot longer now with this Primal Rage available to Crimson. And, I mean, this is a resurgence of Crimson, one of my favorite main tanks. We'll see how he gets through this.
Blizzard and Attack Visor are out. Altiora has to just kind of back out of there. Biz is going to throw another Dragon along the point and keeps Redbird contained into this hallway. Crimson moves in with the Primal Rage and finds one with that. A big Bionate into the pack, and the Shield of Gig is cracking. Gig does have this the Earth Shatter that comes down, finds Skyward, but Skyward manages to get that Nano out just in time. Crimson is boosted up. Sound Barrier was thrown in as well from Altiora. Despite that, Chopper does eventually fall, and Biz isn't able to get the value that they would have liked off of the Nano boost. Nor Crimson, excuse me. And Redbird, they're able to systematically pick this apart. Altiora, though, they're still not quite done with this fight. Biz is able to get one. Crimson found another one, and despite the great start, they just cannot finish off Redbirds.
I mean, yeah, Altiora, I mean, yeah. Altiora has just been holding it. And, I mean, speaking of holding, Chopper looking for a bit of a Death Blossom engage here. I think that they want to go behind the point, see if they can get a sneaky teleport in. Big anti coming in from Skyward, though.
And Crimson goes diving into the pack. Altiora looking for a place to use this. Crimson does go down as Echoes make a swap to a Reaper of their own. But it's Chopper waiting there with the Death Blossom. Nice Bionate thrown in, but it's Skyward who falls. Nobody there to take advantage of it, and Altiora just going to relinquish this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's in the last fight territory, though, as Altiora does get it to 99%. So you still have the Death Blossom to win this next fight, and it's all going to be about how do they engage. And I think that Biz is the answer to this. I think that if they get an early pick like they have in the last two fights, this is all done and dusted.
You see Biz working that hallway on the left-hand side of your screen right now, keeping that flank under control. It means Redbird has to just go right up the gut, and they don't really have any ults to work with. Could also put them in a dangerous spot for the Dragons or the Death Blossom that are online and ready to go. Immortality Field is already gone. Nothing to protect against the two DPS ults as the Dragons are thrown in along the right-hand side. Liar does manage to get the Sound Barrier up in time, and Redbird fall into the corner, but the point has been flipped. Redbird have to step out and try to gain control. Chopper still looping back around, still holding on to this Death Blossom, which they now unleash on top of King's head. Oh, just dancing on the corpse of Redbird Esports. Altiora looking to send us to round 3. I'm not counting Redbirds out this time until we see that green ring, but there it is. It was down to the wire, Billy. It's down to the wire.
It was absolutely down to the wire, and now we're going to head to City Center. And, I mean, we've seen Crimson just rock this Winston. We saw Gig, pulling out the German Crusader. I thought it was the right choice there. Just didn't get any value with the shatters that you were expecting to see. So now we're going to see, once again, dueling monkeys coming out. And, yeah, I like what I'm seeing out of Altiora. I think that if you stay with this Tracer pick, Rupal and Liar are going to have a heck of a time in their back line, especially with Crimson, how engaging that he has been with these jumps. I will think that I think that every time that they've gone in on this, they've gotten a kill. So I mean, Crimson has definitely been planning these jumps in on the back line of Redbird Esports, and they just have not been able to answer it yet.
And Crimson is off screen on the left-hand side. We saw that alt fire blast come through from the Winston. Now backing up, you do have several members of Altiora sitting on the high ground. Gig was just kind of teasing him a little bit, but it's Echo who puts in the damage to take Skyward out of the fight. Echo does fall, but you take that trade, the Echo for the Ana, if you are Altiora. Redbird on this objective, and it's going to be the Winston's going face-to-face here to start things off. Both teams just kind of poking and prodding at the moment. As Echo makes a swap onto the Tracer to get back into this fight, there's just not a lot of damage coming out from Redbird, so they do grab first control.
They do it now. Echo is back onto the Tracer, so we're going to have the Tracer and the Soldier mirrors going into these next fights. And it's all about how do they get on top of that. That's a big pick, though, for Gig, taking the Ana out of the fight, and now Altiora is going to fall down like dominoes.
It's a beautiful read on the situation from Redbird as they kind of retreat, kind of give up some positioning in favor of taking a fight where they wanted it. And then they just kind of force Altiora to close that gap onto them, and Redbird are able to strike back. They never give up control.
They don't. And I mean, looking at, you know, the soldier output of damage right now, Vision and Chopper exactly the same. Gig and Crimson. Gig's got a lot more of the value out of the Winston so far, as well as also putting in the work on the Ana. Rupel has definitely gotten the edge of that, and they actually have to swap off to a Moira for more burst healing.
Oh, which means that Redbird have the advantage when it comes to having those bio-nades and the nano boost as well. Echo falls, though, in the duel with Chopper providing some assistance in the final blow. It means Biz is now free to go roam through the back line. We're trying to back off. The stick is going to land on the Gig. A bit negated from the nano boost, and Gig's able to finish off Chopper. Now looking for more. Side set on Magic Maypole. Takes him down. 90% to sound barrier. Onto the other support. Skyward trying to fade out of there, but jump is still available for Gig, who's pressuring it down. Skyward has to use the orb just to keep themselves healed up. Did buy a little bit of time for Biz and, to get some work done, and Skyward even finds one of their own. Altiora able to grab control of this point in this very scrappy engagement, but Redbird are going to strike back real quick.
Oh, yes, they are, and especially with RuPaul getting all this healing onto onto Gig. Definitely going to be building up to that nano engage next, but I mean, both DPS ultimates ready to go for esports. There's the pulse bomb out. Echo doesn't find any joy on it.
Now the call is coming through from Skyward in response. Gig forced out of that small room. Falls back to Liar, who drops the sound barrier. Now Gig pushing back in deep, but guess what? Magic Maypole had one of their own. Gig now trying to use the Primal to get something done. Vision throwing in the attack visor as well. A lot of ults coming out of the war chest from Redbird, and so far not a single kill on the back of all of it. Now Altiora able to strike back with some of their own. Give me Chopper with the attack visor, take down Rupel. Look at that, take down Liar and Vision as well. Both will eventually fall. Now Altiora coming out on top.
Redbird, look out for the chopper! Get to the chopper! They had
they got the chopper.
Chop shop indeed. And now, crossing 50%, and they're going to have ultimates coming in this next fight. Well, we see Echo. Now going back to this Echo. So Pulse Bomb ready for Biz. Rupel and Liar got to watch their backs.
Echo's going to be a lot more careful this time around. We're about Chopper's Soldier. A lot more damage to put down on that flying hero. Pulled up to the back from Biz, didn't quite land. As Echo's putting pressure in from the top, looking for the back. Gets them focusing me down on a Magic Maypole and receives the nano boost. Echo's going to continue forcing Altiora all the way back through the doors. Biz is still sticking around, but has to use that recall. Now just hanging out to make sure they can get a touch just in case. There's somebody still contesting, but they're quickly removed.
Yep, it was the Moira, and they're going to come back with a Coalescence. So, as we are in last fight territory here, Jeff, nothing really much on the board other than that Coalescence. So, Redbird going to have to take a dry fight here to hold this point and take our first map.
This will be final fight. I think if Altiora won it, it'll at least be a broken fight if Redbird can get back. Skyward with the only ult, gonna drop the Coalescence into the back. Redbird scrambling, looking to get around the corner. Gig able to punish though before the Coalescence can find a kill. Ripple so low into that corner, but the Coalescence fades. The healing is there, the peel is there, but the tip of the spear is gone. Redbird's missing their main tank, and the bulk of Altiora now showing it back in this fight. Primal coming out of Crimson. Purple's down, blue 100 health gets taken down by Vision's attack visor. Biz is able to respond. 99-99 on this point. Biz with a pulse, looking to make something happen. Skyward goes down as Redbird move in, bolstered by a sound barrier of their own. Echo making a swap over to the Tracer's got back inside. What a beautiful stick! This from downtown manages to land that one squat on Liar's chest, and the Lucio is gone. Vision able to fight an attack. There's only 3 members of Altiora left on this fight as Crimson returns on the Doomfist, the first we have seen on the day. Gig separated from the pack as Echo receives the nano. Echo able to finish off Crimson. And Primal Rage comes out of Gig. So Redbird Esports here with an advantage in this final fight, and very close to getting this point flipped over. The kill onto Skyward will most certainly mean the flip comes through, as it does, and the overtime is gone. Redbird come out on top in a very close battle here on Oasis. Round 3 going 99-99, but it is ISU who come up with the map win.
I mean, all three of these maps went to the distance. So I mean, there's nothing between these two teams right now. This 5v5 environment definitely working very well for Altiora as well as for Redbird Esports. So yeah, definitely saw that coming through. Choppa just absolutely laying in with the DPS so far. So I mean, as far as the DPS lines go, let's talk about Choppa. Because got a fantastic attack visor on the first point of Gardens. We saw the Death Blossom come through there, and I mean we're just seeing Choppa just come into their own now. And I'm waiting to see how this DPS battle is going to move forward. But you know, Redbird Esports still serenely sailing along, even though I know that their palms are sweaty right now, Jeff.
Oh yeah, they were on the edge of their seats for that one. But you were Ken at the top of this series. You were talking about Echo and Vision really having their work cut out for them. Chopper and Biz have looked fantastic. I love the adjustment on University to go to the Hanzo. I think that was absolutely a sub map winning swap, and Redbird didn't really adapt to it. They stuck with the brawl composition and just weren't able to quite push through. And Redbird kind of looked like my game does right now on University, but they were able to clear up and find their pixels moving on through the rest of the map. Hopefully my cam will do the same. But back to the point at hand, I still think the DPS duo of Altiora were doing a phenomenal job.
Yeah, they definitely held their own against a Redbird duo that really was pushed to the limit. The swaps that you saw coming out from Echo was in direct relation to what Altiora were bringing to the table. So Choppa and Biz definitely get a gold star from me on that round, even though they do lose the round. It's going to be 1-0. It's going to be Altiora's map choice as we're going to head to push up next.
I'm very curious where we go. We saw Noon Queen Street in our last one. Coliseum certainly an option as well. So let's. I like New Queen Street. I think that's probably my favorite of the push maps here so far, Billy. And particularly if we're going to see more of the long range stuff.
I mean, you have to have that mid to long range poke to be able to deal with the pressure coming in. You have to be able to break bubbles as it stands with the Winstons really being paramount here for the tank choices. If you can get that long range poke in or even that medium range poke coming in, it just really devalues the bubbles. And then you have to look at the mobility coming out from the Winston. It automatically forces them off the point. We haven't seen Sombra today so far. I think that Sombra, especially working on a Winston, not being able to throw that bubble up, not being able to pop a primal in the key moments. I love Sombra in general just because of that ability. I think that you can focus out a player, make them not be able to play the game. I also think that it gives extreme scouting potential, especially on a push map like Toronto. I think that this could be one of those picks that where we've seen Sombra kind of go out of disfavor in Overwatch 1. I think here, especially where you need to have the vision and you can't always ping the targets, I think that this will really work out in favor if any of these teams decide to run it.
Yeah, it's been an interesting pick. The rework of Sombra was kind of on a knife's edge, right? We heard about just how OP it was in the alpha. And they just made a nerf to the damage boost that's granted by the hack. Because, of course, the hack only provides 1 second of disable time onto your opponent, 1 second of disabling their cooldowns. But past that, it's bonus damage. As I continue to just be a mosaic painting here. This is just awkward. Maybe my cam got hacked by Sombra because I feel like I'm taking bonus damage right now. But needless to say, once the nerf came through in the beta, we very quickly saw kind of Sombra fall out of favor. Those still picture there and still niche. I would love to see a Sombra come out and love to see the strategies with that. I'm curious if our teams are going to kind of play it safe with what has been the traditional meta so far. And that's basically what we've seen. Although we did see some of that brawl come out. The brawl certainly not meta right now, and Redbirds were not afraid to show us that.
No, and I think that Gig is a fantastic on the Reinhardt. But looks like our map choices come in. We're going to Rome, the Eternal City. We're going to Coliseum, and I mean, these long sight lines. I mean, you've got elevation change once again. I think that's a big change that we've seen coming in to Overwatch 2 is that there's maps that now have varying levels of elevation. It's not just a singular high ground and a singular, point. You've got different levels of high ground. You've got these little, peaky corners that you can go through. And that's a big change that I've seen so far, my friend, is that we really looked at how do these teams decide that they want to path it. I think that Biz, if he brings out the Hanzo again, could be a real thorn in the side of Redbird Esports, my friend, because the Storm Arrows into either a Winston Bubble or a Reinhardt Shield, I mean, you get it down about half. And Dragons can really cordon off a point, especially if there's contest going on. So I think the Dragon Strike could also be a massive win condition here for the members of Altiora. We'll see what they decide to bring out.
Yeah, particularly on this map that has such a unique design, and we talk about the long sightlines are always good for a Hanzo, particularly if you have narrow hallways, like underneath the arches where the push bot first starts here on this map. Like that huge area is wonderful for a Hanzo. But my favorite part of this map, Billy, has to be those little cloverleaf sections where you go under the bridge and then circle back around and over it. I think that creates such a unique opportunity for strategy, unlike anything we saw in Overwatch 1. And I could certainly see Hanzo being very viable there, able to climb up and kind of bounce back and forth between those high grounds. You do have some stairwells you can work with to kind of, get some flank angles and push in and out. I could absolutely see Hanzo turning into a pocket pick for Coliseo.
And I think that with the vision, with the sonic arrow as well, you're going to be able to deny the sneak attacks that come around from those flank corners. So I think that Hanzo could be a niche pick here. I completely agree with you. I also think that Zarya could actually be a fantastic choice here if you are looking at that, because not only do you have the double bubbles going out, right, but you've also got grab dragons. I mean, if Zarya and Hanzo become the niche pick here, grab dragons is going to be almost impossible to really defend against. I mean, you may have to have a Baptiste on the field. You may have to have, a Lucio to be able to speed you there and have a sound barrier ready to go for it. So, I mean, niche picks could be a kind of a glimpse into the future here, Jeff. And I think that this is what really, a lot of people saying, oh, it's just Overwatch 1 with the paint job. No, it is not. These maps are completely different. And the pathing and the sight lines, it all comes together in just a gorgeous way. And this is actually one of my favorite new maps. Circuit Royale is my favorite. This one has to be number 2 for me.
We're seeing Redbirds come out on this map, pulling out the Reinhardt once again. They're going back to the Reinhardt and the Mei kind of brawly style. So just looking to control these tight corridors, really get in the face of Altiora, who are coming out with a Reaper of their own. So both of our teams have some identity already in these kind of early looks of these T2 contender squads.
What I'm looking for from Redbirds is, of course, building up to that window quickly, because that just denies so much space, and everybody's gonna have to duck and run for cover. So the real part of this, especially in the early beginnings of these points, is the fact that you can get behind the team and just start laying in damage if you're sneaky enough.
And Eiko being very mindful of that, using a Maywall to deny follow-up on a good anti-nade from Skyward. And Redbird still holding their ground for the moment. Nice Maywall. Crimson and Biz are caught on the wrong side of it. Doesn't look like Redbird are quite able to punish. Everybody from Altiora just backs out, waits for that to go down, and now here comes the response. But now Altiora are running into an Ant Matrix, double damage coming their way, and look how quickly they scramble for cover. Crimson cannot find any, and Redbird finally tilt the balance in this opening fight.
It was the window that I called for, and it was the window that I got, and now it's going to be all push here coming through for Redbird Esports. It's going to be in a hurry, and it's a team kill to boot.
We got death. Billy.
I love it. I love it. I love it. This is exactly what I want to see. And look at that little bit of tech coming out from Eiko there on the Mei, trying to get up to the high ground and be able to shoot down this long sight line with those icicles. This is exactly what I want to see from them.
Yeah, and this is this cloverleaf portion I was talking about, where you have to get the cart under the bridge and up and over, so this bridge control becomes extremely important. Chopper knows that. It's going to be a nano visor coming out from them to try to send Redbird's pack and succeed in doing so. Finding that kill on a Ripple means there's no sustain for King, and Redbird fall apart very quickly off the back of that.
I mean, it was all about the nano engage, though. I mean, that's what really cracked it open for them. What a What a grenade, an anti-nade coming through actually hits the members of Redbird, and they actually have to stall their progress a little bit. So this is Ana versus Baptiste here, Jeff. That's the big battle between these two teams. But Ripple on that, Baptiste says nay to Crimson.
Yeah, like, you still can't deny the damage output of Baptiste. And Crimson just quickly was taught a lesson in how strong a Baptiste can really be. Which means Altiora just have to back out. Like, if your tank goes down, you have to at least find a corner to hug. But look at this. Altiora have positioned all over the place. I'm surprised at how spread out they are positioned. And it's got to be in anticipation of this blizzard.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they're absolutely looking for that. And now we're going to see Sound Barrier engage coming in.
Yeah, nice converge from that. Everybody gets max value for the Sound Barrier. Trying to come through as well as a blizzard. But Biz is unaffected into the back line with the takes down 4 for Biz. Spectacular stuff to avoid all of those ultimates and find that opening. Biz, holy cow.
That's effing banging. There's no other way to put it. Gig was out on an island by himself trying to deal with the blizzard, see if he can get any kills on it, and Biz just says, I'm going to bypass all of you and press Q, and bye-bye, you gone. Go back to spawn.
Another big purple coming in from Skyward. That anti-nade landed onto 3, and this one's getting followed up on. As Biz goes up and finds Lyra immediately. Primal Rage coming out of Crimson as well. And Redbird are wanting to get set up. Ripple does finally get the Matrix out, even finds a kill with it from that top rope. Now Gig trying to move in. Nice little boop and dodge coming out of Magic Maple and Skyward. Skyward manages to throw out the Nano. That going on to Biz. And Gig finds themselves surrounded with a Nano Reaper at their back. Good save coming through from Lyre and Ripple. Gig still on their feet. And they have kind of corralled Altiora back into the corridor where they're going to be able to pick off Biz and start putting damage down on the support. Skyward's going to fall. Redbirds now have got control of the bot.
Oh my goodness. And I mean, this is just the pursuit coming out from them, the vision from Vision to be able to throw out all that damage. Echo had swapped over in the interim to a Reaper of their own. So now you're going to be looking for the teleport behind Altiora. Definitely have to be wary of Skyward. We've seen them land just some incredible sleeps here in our series, but man, Altiora definitely have a little bit of advantage here with this tack visor.
And they are set up with the sight lines. Ooh, nice flank! Skyward wasn't having any of it! Oh no! Nico suddenly saw nothing but Altiora players surrounded their screen. Attack visors, at least from Chopper, are able to pick up one with that. But Redbirds managed to land a nice haymaker of their own, finding 2. Now Vision has their own. Oh, does it again! Oh my goodness! The Sandman Skyward is on the job and is dancing on your corpse.
Oh, I just mentioned that Skyward has some nutty sleeps. Well, there's 2 in a row for you, folks. Now Choppa bringing out the signature Genji that we know him so well from Tier 3 and some of Tier 2. And now this is going to be looking in the back line. What a stick there from Skyward. Almost has Nano again.
It's ready to go. And this could go on to Biz. Biz is Nano. Biz has the Death Blossom into the pack. Finds another one again. Just finds Ripple, but that's all you need. That's the bulk of the healing gone. That's both supports off the battlefield. And Redbirds are able to get a couple of kills, but the sustain is going to favor Altiora. But Echo doesn't need your sustain. Echo can self-sustain. Heals for the soldier as well. But in the end, it's not quite enough. Narrowly. Altiora able to win that fight. Redbird are going to counterpunch with the quickness.
They are, and I mean, what I'm looking at right now is going in on tempo with this sound barrier and just letting Echo rip. Especially if you can take down Magic Baseball in the interim, that's going to just deny any kind of constant touch there coming from them. So, man, Redbirds have fought, they've bet, they've broken a little bit, but now they're back in the fight.
It's a bit of a dance battle. You know, Saul's do their dance, and we're like, okay, respect. Now let's see what Echo's got. It's your turn to take to the mat. Into the back line goes Crimson. Has the primal range if needed. Just going to go and pop that. We got the sound barrier coming out as well. Lyre responds with the sound barrier of their own. As the shield fades, Gig is taking a nap. Echo looking to protect their main tank with the Death Blossom there. Doesn't really get much kills with it. Does thwart a little bit of the attack, but Gig still goes down. Crimson falls, but that's going to be the only casualty of Altiora, as 4 of them are now back on the bot. Another beautiful sleep out of Skyward. Altiora are about to catch up. They're approaching the second checkpoint.
Skyward's going to have another nano here in just a little bit, and that's going to be exactly what they need to push in on this next fight. It's going to be I think it's going to be a nano blade, possibly, or a nano death blossom. It just depends. Oh my gosh, Biz is just not having anybody's nonsense right now.
I love Biz's decision making, Billy. It's so smart. Like, just knew exactly where they're going to come through. Shatter in from Gig. Doesn't look like it caught anyone. Altiora are just too mobile. They're able to dance around that one. Indeed, Chopper does get the smoke with a Death Blossom. Altiora make mincemeat out of the Redbirds.
Yeah, GG's go next. And there's only 5 meters and 4 seconds left on the clock here. I don't know if they're going to be able to get back in time, Jeff.
It's going to be a touch coming in, but Chopper has a blade waiting for him. Skyward goes down, but Rupel falls in COD. 4v4, both teams missing supports. Now it is Vision with the Tack Visor, who has 1 health and a dream up there, sitting on the top rope. And Redbird steal the cart away. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Redbirds come out on top. They 2-0 Altiora. Oh my goodness. I love this game. Holy cow.
I am in shock right now. They had the Lucio there with the Reaper. Did he go into Wraith? Is that what happened?
You can still contest with Wraith. It's not like Sombra Invis. You can still contest with Wraith. They just forced them off. Redbird just managed to force them off of the point and snag control of the bot. They just stole it out from underneath them. I mean, both teams had inflicted some heavy wounds. Both teams were beaten and bloody and limping through that final fight. Almost as bad as my camera has through this entire series. And Redbird just narrowly come out on top. I mean, every one of the control submaps were down to the wire. Push was as close as it gets. This has been an incredible preview of what's to come through the summer, what we might see in contenders. Oh man, but that is going to do it. That's our second match in the books, Billy.
I mean, I'm still flabbergasted. I mean,
I can't believe it.
The 5K that came in from the double DPS. There's that stall though. We talked about it on push. There's just a little bit of fraction of time for it. It's
a big fraction of time.
It's a bit. I mean, for Redbirds, it was everything that they needed to get that Tack Visor online and start taking down the members of Altiora. Altiora have got to be kicking themselves right now. They were close on Oasis. They were close here. They were less than a meter away with 4 seconds to go, and Gig comes in and seals the deal.
Yeah, now they're headed to the losers bracket. There is that safety net form. We will, hopefully for their sake, I know Altiora fans are hoping we will see them once again here on the stream, but it won't be in the winners bracket. We will be moving on here as we head into our final match of the day. We're going to take a quick little intermission, get that set up, but don't go anywhere. We're going to have more of the Beta Clash when we return.
What's up, everybody? Chef Billy back here with you with Map 5 Podcast, and I've got Rocket in the booth with me here today. Rocket, why don't you introduce yourself, let everybody know who you are?
What's up? I'm Rocket. I'm the hitscan DPS for Wisp. And yeah, I mean, hitscan might be a little bit of a stretch. I mainly play a lot of Tracer right now, but maybe one day I'll open up my hero pool. We'll see. But yeah, that's basically all there is to me.
Well, speaking about playing Overwatch, we've got a beta out there, and we know that you have been practicing a lot on the beta, getting ready for, potential Path to Pro stuff coming up. So, what's your favorite part of the beta so far?
I think my favorite part of the beta so far is the amount of people that are coming back to play Overwatch again. The game has I mean I have felt that it's been great, like 2020, 2021, all of that. It's been a great game, but for the general public and people who aren't necessarily super into the path to pro, coming back to see like the game again one more time, and seeing what like really has changed. I won't lie, the player base maybe did take a little bit of a dip, like 2019, 2020. Everyone's coming back now. It feels like the old days, and it's like quite interesting. That's definitely my favorite part, though.
What would you like to see in the next step of the beta here for Overwatch 2?
I think the most obvious one for me as a pro player would be ranked. I think although quick play is fun, and I think it's good to get the ball rolling with quick play. Ranked is something that's going to be necessary, I think, in the next generation. Especially for the pro players mainly because the Overwatch League going on, contenders players want to practice. Everyone wants to practice, and sometimes it's just not optimal to play quick play against pot players, diamond players. No hate on them. It's just optimal practice creates optimal results. So I think that's definitely the main thing I'd hope to see next beta.
So, what would you say to people who are skeptical about the first beta that came out?
I think there's not really. I mean, obviously there are things to be skeptical. One new hero, only a few new maps. It does seem a little bit daunting at first to see. These guys took like 3 years or 4 years to give us all this. But I think there's a lot more in store in the future. And I think if we can maybe keep a more open mind, look towards the future, I think there will be a lot of great things in store for us. And this isn't the end all be all. The beta ends relatively soon. Before we know it, the next one will roll out, and after that, who knows when the game will come out. But I'm sure it'll be a great piece of work once it's finally released.
This is where you get to have a little bit of a spicy take. If you could make one improvement to our Path to Pro system as it stands right now, what would it be?
I think this one might be a little bit of a distant take, but I really would like to see more representation from the Asia Pacific and Japan, like all the other Asia Pacific, like South America again, especially too. I think especially in games like Valorant, we're seeing third party regions that not like your big ones like your Europe, your Korea, your NA. These like underdog regions like Asia Pacific and South America are really like coming in and showing off like what they can do. And I think if we give that chance maybe one more time to the Overwatch community, especially with the new game coming out, people coming back from those regions who could potentially be interested. And I think that'd be one of the greatest improvements we can make. Opening up international lands maybe with players from those regions. Something like a gauntlet with representation from like Pan Asia Pacific area, like Indonesia. All South America, all those regions. I think it would really just make the game feel more international and less kind of restricted. As not to say it is now, but I think it definitely would be an interesting thing to see them bring back.
Sure.
I think it'd be awesome. I think it'd be awesome to see, and there's so much talent that's untapped there that I think would be really interesting to give those players kind of a gateway to where they don't have to play in like OCE contenders on like 140 ping or Korean contenders where it's a lot more difficult. Give them a platform to where they can really prove themselves. I think it'd be interesting to see the amount of talent that could come out of those regions.
We like the international feel and the inclusivity of our game. Hopefully that can come back. I actually really, really like that take coming from you. So, anything that you want to say out to Natter's community, out to the community at whole, before we let you go?
Not much. I mean, thanks everyone for watching. Was 100 and something participants in this tournament. It's insane for an Overwatch Open tournament. I'm glad everyone's coming together to play the game again. And I hope everyone enjoys the stream.
Well, thank you so much, Rocket, for spending a little bit of your night with us.
Yep.
But that's going to do it for us here. I'm Chef Billy with Map 5. Now back to the action at Natter's Beta Overwatch Tournament.
All right, Jeff and Billy back here for our final match of the day. Unfortunately, I'm still pixelated, Jeff, but that is okay. You can fill the void. I just need some Vite ramen in my life, Billy. Big shout out to Tim and everybody over there. Do a huge job of supporting Tier 2 and Tier 3 Overwatch. Remember, you can still contribute to our prize pool. Use the command in chat. You can even buy yourself some Vite ramen, and 100% of those proceeds would go to the prize pool if you use that link. We do have one other sponsor we got to give a quick shout out to, and that's Esports Tower. Because, well, this tournament would not be possible without all of our friends' help. For $5 a week, same cost as a Frappuccino, Esports Tower will pair you with a professional coach and a team of committed players. Twice a week, you'll practice and prepare for bi-weekly competitive events. They also have industry insider talks, how-to workshops, and networking events that give you exclusive access to pro players, general managers, collegiate coaches, and even scouts. No other amateur club does more to help you improve your skills as well as get you connected and considered for collegiate and career opportunities. The Natter X Community Beta Clash is proud to be sponsored by Esports Tower.
Well, that being said, I'm hungry for ramen right now, and I think I need to get some coaching my own. But looking at our matchup now, Team Burrito, lots of Solaris players. We think it is Team Solaris, but unbranded this time. But let's talk about what happened with CMS in the last round. CMS actually 2-0'd Pirates in Pajamas. So that's a bit of an upset right there. And then looking at Team Burrito, 2-0 over Alkaline to get themselves here. Man, this is looking like another one of these spicy matchups here in round number 6.
Yes, indeed. And you may not recognize the name Team Burrito, but you'll recognize the players on this squad. These are names that you are going to see as we move into our contender season proper a few months down the line. And so with that, I'm not surprised they took down Alkaline, but that's definitely a bold statement. Look at these names. Look at the squad. Look at that back line, Billy. Rack Attack and Luke Mino. Are you kidding me?
We've seen them in concert together before, and now they brought the Dream Team back together. So I am definitely worried about CMS in their back line right now. Cal didn't have too bad of a game. Mikan had a pretty good game as well. So, I mean, this is going to be definitely the 5v5 at its best, because you've got just 2 Chads in the main tank department. You got a couple of shooty boys in the DPS department. And like I said, this support battle is going to be something that I'm going to be absolutely feverishly looking over here during our contest.
As with all of our matches today, this is going to be a 1st to 3, and we will be starting off on control. We are changing it up a little bit, heading into our winners bracket round 6. As well, we're headed to Greece here, Billy. We're going to Ilios.
It's still one of my favorite matches ever, or favorite maps ever. Agreed. And I mean, it's just such a stunning visual effect here from these 3 maps. I'm really wanting to see my donkey horse come out here, but I don't think she's going to come out.
No, we got a peppering of Sojourn earlier. I think that's all we could ask for. I don't think we can ask for Sojourn and Orisa on the same day. That's just too much. Too much.
I absolutely can.
Okay. You do it. You dream big, sir.
Dang it. I really do want to see it, though. But, we'll look and see what's going on with these 2 teams, though. I mean, how do they decide a path? I mean, Lighthouse obviously is a Winston favored map. So if we start out on Lighthouse, I'm definitely looking for that. It's just going to be in the DPS. What they decide to bring out. We've got a steady diet of the old man all day, Jeff. Soldier has been one of the almost must-haves for any winning squad that we've seen today. But the Reaper has also shown nicely as well. And we do get Lighthouse out at first, so...
Lighthouse is gold now, or no less.
I know. It's so nice.
Yes, Cal, it is a best of 3. We don't want to burn everybody out. If we had everybody doing best of 5s for this whole weekend, it would be a lot of play time. So, we're trying to keep it efficient for everybody here. Speaking of Cal, though, Cal and Mikan certainly did wonderfully against Choose Money Crew. And despite not having Aspen in the lineup, this backline has looked quite strong.
Cal saying it's weird to have a best of 3 here, but yeah, it's all about player fatigue, and we don't want that to happen. Lots of sustain is going to be available for Team Burrito here. Cal also going to match that. So looking at what we're going to see out of these 2, look at this backline push here coming out of Jirachi.
Yeah, Jirachi wasting no time just going over the top to try to put Team Burrito into a very difficult spot. See if they can just burn that burrito. Maybe break it open into a few pieces and send beans all over the place. Dropping the cheese if you would, and Rhino is going to fall. The young main tank is the first casualty here in the clash of these two titans. And CMS are doing a great job of focusing fire and one by one dismantling Team Burrito.
I mean, we saw them go to 3 maps against a very game SMC crew, so I think that this is going to be kind of the matchup that we're looking at right now is the Tracer and the Echo battle. I mean, we're looking at mirror matchups between all these teams, so will Dove, who we know is a fantastic Tracer, be able to land these pulse bombs with the regularity that needs to keep them into these fights?
Yeah, already has one ready to go. Sophia not far behind. Dove is going to go ahead and drop a Primal Rage to start off this fight. Coalescence in tandem with that, and Dove's Pulse Bomb is a little bit off the mark. Doesn't manage to finish off Mikan, but it looks to be the only kill in Team Burrito's favor as CMS continue to dominate, and Rhino just gets melted by that focusing bait.
Yeah, you love to see it, and I mean, hopefully there's a recall available for the little Tracer there. No, so low in health. There you go.
Dove. Poor Dove.
Yeah, poor Dove. Dove got his wings clipped there, and now we're looking at Pulse Bomb available to Sophia. Sophia has been putting on a pretty good tournament so far. Love the fact that they are just willing to get in, get out, and get the job done.
Yeah, this DPS duo have played together quite a bit before. Jirachi and Sophia, previously known as Miracle and Chime, were on SMC NA. And unfortunately, as soon as I speak their name, they fall. As Jirachi goes down and Team Burrito make their way onto the point at the back of a Coalescence tree. Able to find 2 more picks. And Team Burrito are not going quietly into the night as they finish off what remains of CMS on this point. But they do lose Dove in the process.
They do, and they get 69% noise. Into this next fight. So now it's all about, 4 ultimates ready to go for Team Burrito as they build up their percentage. I want to see where Tree goes with this duplicate. I think that you have to pull out the Winston here, and there it is.
Yep. And that's going to be the sound barriers coming out from both teams. Team Burrito is a little bit later, which typically means an edge, but still, it doesn't stop Tree from getting burned down. Jirachi's going to get that bonus Primal Rage online. That was a cool catch. Nice job, observers. That was a great view as Dove almost able to finish off Mikan. Fortunately for them, the Pulse Bomb does land on the shield. Coalescence now out from Cal as Team Burrito continues to rack up percentage, but here comes CMS storming on this objective, turning Rack Attack into a pile on the point. Just a heap of a Lucio as CMS are going to flip this thing back over.
Yeah, but Team Burrito is going to come in with 2 ultimates, and I mean, CMS, that was a very expensive fight for them. So now it's all about how do CMS stop the push coming in from Team Burrito, especially on the back of a duplicate and a Coalescence. Lots of sustain to come in through here. So the positioning from CMS at 85% and counting has to be picture perfect.
Yeah, especially with that duplicate, like you were mentioning. It's going to be the Coalescence that is used first. Tree's going to burn down Jirachi. Tree finds a second kill on a Cal as well. This Echo coming unhinged.
Whoa.
This Tree picks up a 3rd. No duplicate necessary, and Team Burrito steal it right back.
Well, the positioning was not there. It was definitely not there as they just get absolutely annihilated. And it was all in the back of the Luke Mino Coalescence, pulling them out of their cubby holes and then finally finding the value. So, if I'm looking at Team Burrito right now, the duplicate going on to a Winston right now could be the way to go to secure even more percentage up towards that 100%.
We're looking for it. Oh, almost managed to finish off Cal. Cal able to fade out just in the nick of time. Tuffa along the outside. See the square market, and there comes the duplicate. Indeed, onto the Winston. 2 of them on the battlefield. And Rhino close to a primal of their own. We could get 2 primaling Winstons as Team Burrito are keeping CMS contained into this small hallway. It looked like Cumberland was able to get out thanks to a sound barrier from Macabre, but Rack Attack has one of their own. Mino falls, and Cumberland's going to pop the Primal Rage. CMS are not done with this fight as we hit 99-99. Cal now drop it down the Coalescence and move it on this objective. Rhino has to back out. Look at all the damage that followed him outside that door. Rhino's hurt. Rhino is down. CMS are up by 2 in this fight. And looking like they're going to take this one in a prime position to do so, to take this first submat on Lighthouse. Not quite sure who's still stalling on the point. Oh, it was Luke Mino on the Moira. They're pushed away, and CMS pick up this Lighthouse map.
I mean, this is definitely playing into what we've seen all day. I mean, taking maps to their brink, and it just comes down to one pick. So CMS do get the first sub-map win, but boy, did they have to pull some teeth to get it, Jeff. And what we're looking at is, the support lines. I mean, that last coalescence from Luke Mean or from Cal is what secured it. So we're going to see the support battle go raging throughout our maps tonight. How are Team Burrito going to be able to deal with the burst healing coming in from Cal? And Jirachi has just been absolutely insane on the Echo today. I think Tree and Dove right now have a good idea. I think bringing in the Reaper here is going to make Kuffa's life hell.
Certainly gonna try. I like Tree on the Echo, so we'll get the battle in the skies once again here as we head into well. Moving in through Cage, Team Burrito are forcing CMS back right now. Have got a lot of map control and have the CMS contained into the small hallway. They do a good job of not overextending, not to get baited in. They're managed to find Sophia on the back, but Luke Mino goes down. Big sustain absent. Kuffa able to pick up a second one. Low on health as we see the amp from Rack Attack to allow Team Burrito to continue to push forward. Finally able to finish off the Winston that was giving him so much trouble. And Team Burrito are in a good position to grab first cap, but Cal's still in the backline causing him some problems. Buys enough time for Sophia to return to this fight on a Reaper of their own.
Oh, we'll see what Sophia can get done because there's no real support there for you. And you've got to watch out for that Tesla cannon coming out from Rhino. It's going to have Primal before Kuffa. This is what we were expecting out of Rhino. We'll see if they can pop it and keep more progress going their way.
And not only is the Primal up available first for Team Burrito, Rack Attack's going to have this sound barrier as well. So a distinct advantage here for Team Burrito headed into fight number 2 as they've already gotten about 25% on the board. They're trying to scout out the approach, spot him in the back corner, coalescent to use from Cal to try to escort CMS onto this point. Rhino responds with the Primal Rage and Cal's caught in the corner. No! Get pushed out of it. Almost got knocked into the pit from the Tree. Able to land 2 on the back of that. While CMS were all looking at Rhino, Tree comes swooping in to find a double kill.
Tree's having none of their nonsense right now and just has absolutely turned the fight on its head. I think this Echo Reaper combination is something that we have not seen personally. I think it's exactly the right play here. With all this burst damage coming down, especially with the sticky bombs and the Hellfire shotguns, Jeff, this is the big difference of why they are so far ahead in the progress percentage.
Dove in the back, the Death Blossom Unleashed finds 2. Might even break that bubble, so yeah, 75 health. Grabs the mini, back up to 150. Nice move, Dove! Able to teleport up to high ground, but only has 53 health to work with, while their counterpart in Tree is able to melt a few with a focusing beam. Team Burrito are not giving up any control. They're not giving up an inch here, Billy.
Can somebody give me some of Tree's aim on this Echo because I'm just jealous.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a smidge of the accuracy Tree has. My goodness.
I mean, the sticky shots are landing, at least 4 of them at a time, and we're almost at, full capture here at 100%.
Yeah, there it was again. We saw a flurry onto Kuffa right as you mentioned it. And Tree has been outstanding, and nobody can get to the point. Oh, man. Tree's put in so much damage. CMS were kind of stuck back in that corner. By the time they realized they needed to get back, it was too late. Oh, wow. What a turnaround. Lighthouse was 99.99. That was a 100-0 to Team Burrito. They're on well.
Tree diff. That's the big difference right there is Tree. I mean, the Death Blossom was good, but Tree in the neutral was landing those sticky bombs and focusing beams with just a frightening rapidity and just able to reproduce it time and time again, Jeff. So now we're looking at more of a brawl-centric map. I think we still see what we have coming out. Burrito's going to get to the point first, especially with this teleporter.
Yeah, and I anticipate Trey to go back over to Tracer or an Echo. Yeah, it's going to be the Echo. Did so well with it on well. It does not surprise me in the slightest. And CMS don't really have a whole lot to counter with it. Don't even have an honor in running the Moira and the Lucio. They don't even have a support who can really shoot in the air. Look at this Tree already finding immense value, finding first blood. Make that a 2K here for Tree at the start of this fight. And they have been on an absolute tear. After losing Lighthouse, Trey got mad and is just decimating the lines of CMS.
I mean, there's not much else to say to that, is there, Jeff, other than the DPS duo of Team Burrito just smacked CMS around and said, you're not going to touch my point.
And now they're building percentage while they're holding CMS back into this corner. Dove even going in deep down to the Mega, put some extra pressure on Kuffa. About 65% towards a Death Blossom to start things off. Eating some damage and wisely backs up to this corner, but Team Burrito are making CMS just fight for every single piece of ground they get. Cal's going to have to drop a Coalescence just to push out of this spawn area. Mino's going to respond with one of their own. Rhymel's going to drop in the Primal Rage. Dove does get melted. First kill here for CMS on this map, but Tree responds. No other than Tree in the skies who's able to equalize. Rhino had to back out, but there's a Death Blossom from Jirachi. That one's huge. That one's going to pick up a couple and finally chop this tree down.
Well, I mean, there's still a chance for a quick re-engage coming out of Team Burrito, especially if Luke Mino decides to go in and, start laying down the healing orbs with, there we go, see if we can get them in on the point. And there goes Jirachi out the fight. So now this is a quick recontest. Like I said, you can go in with the sound barrier.
It's going to be Dove dropping the Death Blossom on the point. Didn't really get much done with that. Kuffa has the Primal Rage to recoup the damage taken. Sound Barrier thrown in second by Rack Attack. And Team Burrito moving in, still have a duplicate to work with. Kuffa down to about 275 on that Primal Rage and has to find some cover, has to try to find some heals. Cal is there, able to get some of that science there to help help Kuffa regen. Duplicate was used onto the Reaper. Oh, finds the value, chases Cal down, had very little health to work with. The Tree still manages to get the job done. Meanwhile, on point, Team Burrito are cleaning up, and they're going to flip this thing. 47-47. These two teams are so close.
They are so close, and the big reason behind that duplicate working so well is the Death Blossom that takes Cal. When they had Coalescence on board, they could have stalled out with that Coalescence, but that is a huge pick off there for Tree. So now working once again, trying to build up towards that duplicate.
Define starts picking. Here comes the Coalescence from Luke Mino that you were talking about. 2 kills already. Make it 3, make it 4. Team Burrito with a quick team fight win. And another one to take note of, we see Rack get that final kill. Look how much more percentage Rack Attack has on this sound barrier. And we're at 80%. We're coming up on final fight.
I mean, you've got the ability to really sustain in here into this fight for Rhino with this Primal Rage. I think that we're going to see Dove come out with another Death Blossom to finish off this fight.
Coalescence and full spawn used from CMS, and so far no kills on the back of it. I know it is whittled down pretty low, sub 100 health, grabs the Mega, nicely done. Jirachi throws Death Blossom and takes Dove out of the fight, but CMS are missing their Moira in this battle. Sophia finds Trey, huge pick there, and CMS get it at just the right time. Zombie from Team Burrito trying to keep him in this thing, but there's just too many members of CMS left, and they are going to burn through Team Burrito.
Yep, and I think Rack Attack's going to want that back. I think that sound barrier, while was nice to keep people up, you just didn't have the sustain there as Luke Mina was still trying to get back from spawn. So now Primal and sound barrier ready to go. You throw that out when Dove lets loose with the Death Blossom.
You see Dove hugging Rhino right now. Dove moving around to the point. Getting a bit of a flank angle. Early sound barrier is the cue for CMS to move in. Death Blossom comes out from Dove into the back, but there was just too much shielding to work with. Jirachi does eventually fall, but in that time, Kuffa and Cal are able to give CMS the edge in this fight. Sophia drops down the pulse. That finishes off Dove, and CMS have completely flipped this thing around. We're going to 99-99 yet again.
Duplicate ready to go for Tree, though, so you can look at maybe getting a duplicated Winston here to be able to stay on the point. But we're at 93% and counting. Luke Mino out of the fight.
Rack Attack on the outside, gets stopped, not able to touch. Okay, somebody does get onto the point. Final fight incoming, and trades right out of the gate. Buffa goes down, and CMS are going to have to win this without their Winston. Jirachi looking to make that happen by taking Mino out of the fight, but Dove is there! What are friends for if not to protect you from the Reapers and to take down your Tracers? It's Dove who comes up in this final fight, this DPS duo alongside Tree, proving too much for CMS here in map number 1. Cuffle with a Wrecking Ball swap just to try to hang on for as long as possible, try to buy time for a miracle, but there's none to be had. Team Burrito move up 1-0 in our series.
And how apropos was it that Tree gets the final blow there and takes care of CMS in fine fashion. Tree, definitely the difference maker here for Team Burrito. Yes, Dub was getting a lot of work done. Yes, Gig on the Winston was absolutely nuts. Rhino on the Winston was nuts, but come on. I mean, just the work being done, the aim, the follow through, everything was there. And now they're sitting on match points to stay in the winner's round.
That was a slick looking skin too. I love that black and gold on Tree's Echo. I'm going to take note of that. I mean, it kind of looked like a Soul skin, but I didn't see the Soul logo. The carbon fiber skin has green in it. Anyway, I get distracted by the aesthetics. You know, I appreciate the wonderful art design in this, as well as the amazing gameplay that we just saw. And all of the above looked outstanding for Tree. What a phenomenal performance. Team Burrito looking strong here, barely looking real strong.
They are definitely looking strong, but I mean, CMS did not go quietly into the night. So
Certainly not.
I think that, you know, coming up on push, we saw their push map actually go in their favor in the streets of Toronto. So it'll depend on where we go here from CMS. Do they go back to Toronto, or do they decide to take it to Coliseo? It all depends. It all depends on where they want to go, where they feel most comfortable.
I don't know. If you go to Toronto, if we head to New Queen Street, I think you're just going to open up a room for Tree's Echo. That would be my concern there. So we'll see. I mean, but CMS did look really strong on that map. And that was the map they chose in the first broadcast of the day, the first match here in Winners Bracket 4 when they faced Shoes Money Crew. They lost control. That one on Lijiang Tower, and then came back and picked New Queen Street and won that map, and were able to bring back the entire series. So that could be a comfort pick for them. And, well, we just got word. Map 2 is in. And indeed, it is going to be CMS sticking with that comfort pick. We're headed to Toronto. We're headed to New Queen Street.
Again. Yay! Go Canada! Or don't blame Canada.
I'll allow it.
Yeah. I mean, this is where they really kind of set themselves up and got the momentum going forward. I really over SMC. So, I mean, they had great pathing. They had great sight lines. I mean, it wasn't a stomp by any means. It was only a matter of like 4 meters, the distance between the two teams. So their ult discipline I thought was stronger than SMC when they played earlier. So we'll see if CMS can do this once again. Just really marshal their resources and use those ultimates in the most advantageous positions. It's all about the positioning too. We saw them take, a defensive stand when we saw SMC pushing towards their final goal there in the overtime. They took that high ground around the hairpin turn and were able to just lay down damage. And Jirachi actually came out with a huge deflected double dash that ended up sealing the deal for CMS. So that's my big look here. We saw Cal come out on the Moira there in that overtime as well. So Moira, Ana, doesn't matter. Cal is absolutely up to the task depending on what we see happen here on the streets of Toronto.
I think there's some interesting strategic elements to bringing the Moira, because especially on a map like this, which I feel is a little bit more open and more flank angles to work with, if you get surrounded in Overwatch 2, and you're absolutely toast. Like, you just don't have the peel, and it becomes that much more lethal compared to the live game. And so the Moira wants to stay close, wants to hold hands with their main tank, with their tank. I got to get that one out of my vocabulary. Yeah, I mean, the vernacular of main tank is just so ingrained, right? But I mean, I guess theoretically, like, Winston still falls into, we still have separation of, of hit scan and, of flex DPS. So I still think there's a little bit of room for differentiation between main tank and off tank. But with that said, we are going to get the Ana coming out of Cal, which can play at a lot more range, can sit back and take advantage of these long sight lines and play a little bit safer versus Luke Mino on the Moira. That has to be up close and personal to find that value.
Jeff, you were howling at me when I was playing Ana the other day that I needed to stay out of the line of sight on this map.
Yes, sir.
I'm still mad at you over that one. I was getting the healing done, dang it. But
it's being vulnerable. That's the problem. And whoever puts themselves in a more vulnerable position makes it easier for their opponents to get the work done. And Kuffa and Jirachi getting work done here early as Tree, the star of our first map, the first casualty, and the rest of Team Burrito falling like dominoes. They do pick up a couple. All right, so it's a 3v2 favoring CMS right now, but Rhino is just stuck behind the hockey player, jumps out with about 25 health, and leaves Luke Mino to die.
Well, I mean, we just can't see that happen. That's just not nice. But, you know, going into this next fight, I mean, look at the ultra charge for Sophia on this Tracer. We've seen it all day long. The Tracer is absolutely their specialty right now at 81% and counting. Also got to throw a big shout out to the Rack Attack Pack. Mom just gifted a whole bunch of subs in the Twitch chat. Thank you, Mama Kim, for that. And nice to see you once again. We missed you.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. You got to love the Rack Pack. Got to love the support of the families from everybody to support these players as they push through here. And our first look at our contenders teams here in the Natter X Community Beta Clash. And look at here we go. Tree, after swapping over to a Reaper, finds that kill on Kuffa to really open this thing up for Team Burrito to send the bot back the other direction.
Yes, and I mean, look at that. Luke Mino getting the final blow onto Sophia now. It's all about pushing, and you've got Coalescence to engage in on. Can Cal land one of those huge anti-nades that we've seen all day today? That will completely devalue this Coalescence coming out.
Coalescence kind of off on the flank. Nice stick! Comes out of Dove, picks up a pair! Dove special delivery, it's a 3K!
I mean, that's just fantastic. Work out of Dove once again. This DPS duo is just disgustingly good. And there's Luke Mino just making sure the team is nice and topped off as they will reach here to the first checkpoint and activate that forward spawn. But you've got Nanoblade coming in this fight. I think you absolutely have to invest it here.
The Nanoblade's been an interesting one in Overwatch, too. We'll see how CMS choose to use the Nano. Do they couple it with the Blade? Do they throw it on Kuffa? You've got some options. CMS getting aggressive right out of the back. Oh, and Nakan! This is the one who gets in front of the Nano. It's a Boostio on the battlefield. I don't think that was the intended target. Certainly not one I anticipated. And Dove and Tree are able to pick up a pair, but Kuffa responds to the Primal Rage, finds one. Dove answers back. Comes down to a Tracer duel. This could really give the edge. Forces out the recall from Sophia in the small room. Rack Attack has to drop down the sound barrier. It just hits Luke Mino and Dove, but it's enough for them to sustain through the fight and win on the back half of it.
And are we going to see another big pulse bomb coming out of Dove here? I mean, you're going to have both DPS ultimates coming in this next fight. Tree's just got to land a couple shots with the Hellfire. I think that you have to pop this Blade dry here and see what you can get before you can really stop the motion going forward.
It's going to be the Blade coming through over the top. Just kind of faint. Stared at Luke Mino and they fell. It was actually courtesy of a stomp from Kuffa. So Blade doesn't really get much out of Jirachi. And it's CMS. They do fall back and are able to regroup a little bit. You can see Dove working around the outside and Tree coming in. They're trying to bait CMS into this street and come in and surround him. The Death Blossom comes in, gets deflected back, and Tree goes down. It's casualties on both sides. Coalescence from Luke Mino here to close this thing out in another very close fight.
I mean, they've got Mikan trapped in this small room right now. Oh, he gets out! Are you kidding me? No. Luke Mino gets the grasp onto him, and there is the fight win. So now... Oh, man. I mean, you're looking for Sophia to get a big stick here coming in with the Pulse Bomb. Luke Mino's going to have to be very wary of that. Nobody close on support ultimate, so this is going to be a pretty well-contested fight.
Rhino doing a good job of backing Tree up in this high ground. Tree was kind of holding CMS at bay, who desperately wanted to use these windows to try to get onto the point. But Team Burrito are all over it. They've got the kills. They're chasing CMS out to the ends of Toronto. They're going to win themselves yet another one.
I mean, this is looking from bad to worse for CMS. Sophia didn't even get a chance to let loose with that Pulse Bomb. So, expended their entire ult bank there. Hopefully, Raktek can get a sound barrier up, but you're looking at Pulse Bomb and the Primal Rage here from Kuffa.
I mean, CMS have to use it wisely. I think if they lose this fight, it's done and dusted, and they're headed to the loser's bracket. Rhino going up to the top. Coalescence coming out from Cal, finishes off Tree early. Lumino trying to back out of there to keep the Winston alive, but Kava chases him down, and now Rhino is just kind of stuck out on an island, and CMS do indeed win the fight they needed most.
They absolutely did, but they do still have the forward spawn, so they're going to be able to contest a lot faster, but all it took was a Coalescence to win them that fight. Great ult discipline coming out from CMS. Still nothing on the board for Team Burrito.
Yeah, and it looked like all the Team Burrito did get spawned before it flipped over. You can see the middle dot at the top of your screen turn red. So Team Burrito no longer have those forward spawns. 1-for-1 trade here early to start things off. CMS lose Jirachi, who having the blade ready to go. Cuff is going to drop a Primal Rage in that absence, but Lumino is there with a Coalescence, keeping everybody alive and healthy so far through this fight. Tree down low, close to a Death Blossom, who really wants to stay alive. Oh, finishes off Sophia. The nice little flick. That was a great catch from the Moira's point of view to see Tree do that. Now has the Death Blossom.
Oh my god.
Tree in this fight. Holy cow, Tree. That is glorious.
50 health in a dream, gets the initial kill, gets a little bit of that health back, and then just says, I'm just going to end this right now, and just ends up getting re-topped off all the way. Blade now ready for CMS. They have to let loose with it here, and the sound barrier is going to be able to counter it.
And once again, they face a must-win situation. Sound barrier out early here from Team Burrito. Jirachi, there's the blade. As the shields fade from the Lucio, moves into the back. Not getting a whole lot with it. Dove lands the stick, and Kuffa is taken out of the fight. Team Burrito are up one in this. Pulse misses from Sophia, and they are down very low in a lot of trouble. Dove trying to chase down Cal. Nikan able to pick up one. A bit of hope here for CMS, but is that all it's going to be? Jirachi on the Reaper, returning over to the objective. It's CMS regrouping on the bot. They're able to focus their fire down and pick up one and kind of even out this fight. No ults online for either team, and both teams looking a little battered.
Looking battered, but I mean, look at Lumino just getting that burst healing out. It's going to have another Coalescence into this fight, so you just wait for your teammates to get back, and then you let loose with it.
Gonna be dueling Coalescence here over the point. CMS are able to force Team Burrito back around the corner as they look to retreat after losing Tree. And despite using that Coalescence, Team Burrito are happy to give up some of that space.
They really are, and Sound Barrier in this next fight, my friend, is going to be able to really ward off Rhino getting aggressive with this Primal Rage, so we'll need to see what he gets done with it.
2 ults out from CMS, including that Sound Barrier you were talking about, as Kuffa is just forcing Rack Attack back. Nice little evasion. Rack Attack grabs the Mega. Kuffa doesn't get a whole lot done. Jirachi does find one, but there's Tree once again with the Death Blossom. This one finds a pair. Rack Attack over the top, punches one in the face. Sophia strikes back. What a counter punch with a double kill Pulse Bomb. And this bot doesn't know which way to look.
I'm not sure which way to look either. I mean, just maximum value gotten out from all of these players right now. They're playing to their heart's content overtime. That's it!
That's it! That's it! GG's!
Wow. That ended in a hurry.
Oh, man.
Just
phenomenal
the focus.
stuff.
Both teams. Phenomenal stuff. Tree
Here's
is just... Yeah.
That 4K. This is maybe the best play of the day. There's that flick I was talking about we saw from the third person earlier, really from Moira's point of view. Then able to hunt down 2, unleashes the Death Blossom. Tree, if we had to pick a player of the match, I think Tree would be it. I don't really like doing it because I feel like it's such a team effort, but Tree's performance was above and beyond, and it's propelled Team Burrito to a 2-0 win, and they're going to keep moving through this winner's bracket.
They really are, and I mean, the Echo on Oasis was fabulous, and then we see the Reaper play come out just fabulous once again. So I mean, double fab for me. You get the gold star from us here in the casting booth, but I mean, man, Team Burrito look absolutely unstoppable. They are the #1 seeds here for good reason. Now we see why, and the comfort pick just didn't work for CMS here, but they have that safety net. They do go down to the losers bracket, and they'll have a chance to make a losers bracket run.
Speaking of, let's take a look at those brackets after the end of day 2. See where our teams sit here. We're looking at the winners bracket right now, and we are going to have Team Burrito moving on to those winners finals to face the winner of Wisp versus Redbird Esports. We'll have that one coming at you tomorrow for day 3. Certainly not a matchup you're going to want to miss.
No, I'm going to be watching at least until I have to go to work.
Oh, I'll be glued to the screen. Don't you worry. I'll be joining you all in chat, friends.
Yeah,
I won't miss Wisp versus Redbird. You kidding?
No. No, that's a contenders matchup, even better than what we saw between Redbirds and Altiora. I think this one's going the distance as well. So, man, this will be a best of 5 as well.
Yes, yeah, we are getting out of those winners brackets, so we will get a full first to 3 experience. We better stick with first 3. There is still potential for ties, since we will see some hybrid tomorrow. No ties on the board in our first to 2s, but hey, we'll get those larger brackets that that Cal was hoping for.
Yeah, it wasn't weird, Cal. It wasn't weird, Cal.
No, it was fantastic. This whole
was
day has
great.
been
I love it.
phenomenal. We really appreciate everybody joining us. It wouldn't be possible without all of our friends. Had a lot of them help us out here in the NatterX community beta clash. Includes Rank Up, Team Unlimited, Serenity, Dramatic Gaming, Beyond Ranked, Hour Zero, Jangwa, Questline Esports, Vite Ramen, and of course Champria and Esports Tower. Really appreciate all your support in making this fantastic event possible.
Yeah, I mean, this is a fantastic community support as well. So, man, I mean, what a day of Overwatch 2. Our first chance to take a look at it. We saw some familiar faces. We saw some new faces as well. And, I mean, I think our game is alive and thriving once again, Jeff. So, man, tomorrow is going to be a fantastic and thrilling conclusion to our first Overwatch 2 tournament of the year.
Indeed. And you won't want to miss it. Big shout out and thank you to our observers behind the scenes doing a phenomenal job. Big shout out to Pika, our producer, as well. Really appreciate all the hard work that goes into doing one of these tournaments. A lot of people kind of, behind the curtain, putting in just blood, sweat, and tears to bring this tournament to you. And we really appreciate all of you. Most importantly, though, we appreciate everybody out there for just hanging out with us and enjoying these fantastic matches. It's been an absolute privilege. It's been an absolute blast. But we will bid you adieu. Have a wonderful tonight. We will see you tomorrow for more. Don't want to miss it.
Bye, guys. Love y'all.
Hey guys, I hope you guys are enjoying the tournament. I just want to take 1 second to talk about something that sort of resonates with me. Growing up, my family wasn't super, supportive of video gaming and esports and whatnot, as most families are not. My parents really wanted me just to study really hard, or play real sports like soccer and whatnot. So I didn't really have, a way to, play with other friends or, meet people online. So I've actually partnered with Esports Tower. Esports Tower is a club level program for students that are 13 to 18 years. It's a year-round program where essentially students get 3.5 hours of coaching a week, and you get opportunities to play in tournaments and meet other influencers in a particular game. So I'll be offering a 2-week free trial to that program, and if you want to keep going, I believe it's $5, so it's pretty affordable. But I highly suggest checking it out. I honestly wish, going back, if I had these options, to just do a club and sort of meet people or like-minded, I think I really would have enjoyed that. As well as they also, help, high schoolers meet colleges and, maybe look at collegiate scholarships, which I think is really huge. So yeah, definitely check them out, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the tournament.